welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty and welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty and Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Sorry. Technical difficulties. Welcome to the party. Big shout out to the replay gang. Thank you so much for coming back to watch us, even though you missed the live party, guys. That is the best part, so make sure you are here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. So hit that subscribe, ring the bell, and you will never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again. You'll see why in a second, Melty. If you'd like to support the channel, you can head on over to theindianjesus.com to get your very own official merch. Or if you just scroll down a little bit, that's where the echo is coming from, you can hit that join button and become a member of the channel. Getting members only live streams, priority replies, virtual video collaborations, which includes the after party. As soon as we are done here, we are headed over to the free Discord server for the after party, and it is free to join, but you must be a channel member to be part of the after party, and you are not stuck behind your keyboard. You're actually on screen with me and everybody else. It is a grand old time. Come and join us. Shout out to Seabass. Welcome. We got Yusuf in the building. You did act up. You did act big. Act up big. We'll. It's a new day. We're gonna squeegee. It's a clean slate. We attack ideas, not people. Welcome to the party. We also got our boy Melted Mind Media. Hello to M169. And of course, our boy Nick Lou Teddy. Welcome. So I am very excited for this one. This is going to be an interesting conversation, and we may be able to get a lot out of this. So I don't know if you saw that Tulsi Gabbard was on the PBD podcast about a week ago, and they kind of held her feet to the fire. Oh, Morty wants to come up. All right, come on up here. All right, there you go. And yeah, they held her feet to the fire, and I really like the notion, or the style in which they had this interview. And they definitely got into a lot of like cultural stuff later in the podcast, but it's like 2 hours long. And they just come out right out the gate and be like, why should you be a VP? Are you worth it? Can you do it? You said this, all that good stuff. So as always, if you cannot hear the video, please do let me know.
All right, Tulsi, great seeing you.
It's good to be back.
How you doing?
I'm great.
Yes? Fantastic. Okay, so here's what I want you to think about. We like data, we like numbers. Rob, if you can pull up the numbers of what's the Vegas odds, right? I mean, if you watch the podcast,
I talk all the issue on ideas. Just don't talk badly about people. Don't say somebody is stupid. Say that idea is stupid because...
watch the Vegas odds a lot. Adam always brings it up. This is January 23rd of 2024, Rob, if you can pull up the odds on VPs. If you look at the numbers, and I hope the audience can see it, you will notice on this list a ranking. Let me pull it up here on my own, Rob.
Hey, we got Ronan MMA fan page. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, man, so stick around. Let me know exactly what you want to say. We're in the studio and everything. And as soon as we're done, I'll record that for you and send it wherever you would like. Yeah, I just saw that. That just came out. That was today, right? Of course, we're covering the old news. But as we always can do, this gives us a good opportunity to, kind of compare. So maybe on Friday we'll take a look at the JRE and see, if it is different. Shout out to JL in the building. And oh my goodness, right off the top. Thank you to Zippy DSM Lee for the $1 Rumble rant. And of course, every donation comes with a treat for my co-host Morty. Thank you so very, very much. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Thank you, sir. JL said, where did PBD come from? Why is he so famous? So he is, I think his main thing is like selling insurance. Where's Guamtech? We need him to really see exactly what it is. But he's one of those people that, he's not necessarily a celebrity, but is in those circles. And then just decided to start Valuetainment to get a more front-facing thing. And there he is. So, it definitely something that we should look at and be like, oh, okay, this guy knows what he is doing.
Notice on this list a ranking. Let me pull it up here on my own. Rob, if you're able to pull it up so people can see it. Is it up yet or no? Okay, there we go. Look at this. So this is January 22nd, VP, year ago. Kristi Noem was what everybody was talking about.
Oh, Kristi Noem, speaking of the dog.
Elise Stefanik, name was being dropped everywhere. Vivek, Ben Carson, Nikki Haley, Tim Scott. You don't see Tulsi. Now, pull up today's odds, and I want to start off with this.
Shout out again to Zippy for being the new sponsor of the stream.
If you pull up today's odds, this is what you'll notice. Today's odds shows number one, Tim Scott. I believe number two, today is Tulsi Gabbard.
Number two. So that brings us to our poll. And it says, how would adding Tulsi change your opinion on a Trump ticket? So the options are that it doesn't change my vote at all. So maybe you're going to vote for Trump regardless of who the VP is. I will only vote Trump if Tulsi is on the ticket. So if you're not going to vote Trump unless Tulsi is on that ticket, I will vote for Trump unless Tulsi is on the ticket. So you're willing to vote for Trump, but if he brings her on, then no longer. Or still voting Trump. You don't like Tulsi, but it's not going to change your opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Shout out to Virgil Kane, all the way over from Manchester, England. Welcome to the party, guys. If you could do me a huge favor and hit that like, heart, whatever platform you're on as you are coming in, that is very, very, very much appreciated. Thank you.
Tim Scott, I believe number two today is Tulsi Gabbard as a VP. Okay? This is a very simple question. Do you know something that the rest of us don't know about these? Just simple question.
This is news to me too, my friend.
Is it really?
I have not been to that website, and so I wasn't aware of what it was a few months ago, and certainly wasn't aware of what it is today.
I guess the reason why I'm asking is there's this baseball player who has a friend who bets on behalf of him, and he's wondering if it's a good bet to bet on a Tulsi as a VP. The odds are looking. You guys know which baseball player I'm talking about. What's his name? Obviously, he didn't do anything. It was the guy that did it, whatever it may be. But I know a lot of gamblers want to know what's going on here. But Tulsi, with all the crazy stuff that's going on, obviously we got a video. We'll show it to you guys here in a minute. I want to show you guys a video. Did you see Newsom's video about Alabama women abortion? How many of you guys have seen that video? You've not seen it. Wait till you see it. You won't think it's real.
I thought he was gonna. All right, let's go. We're kind of okay. We're good.
I'm gonna play. Okay. They have to see it for sure on what that video is all about. And then we got a couple things that's coming out with
get to it.
Weinstein, where a guy dropping New York has turned into. But are you okay with this one?
Okay.
If I quote you a little bit, and maybe
quoting
this is part
her
of the hot
directly.
Seat. Are you okay with this one? Let's start off with a little bit of a hot seat. Is that okay?
Let's do it.
You know I like you. You know that, right? I just want to make sure I know you know how to fight.
I like the little disclaimer there, PBD.
All right. It's called love. So
I got a friend who's armed to the staccato over there.
So here's what you said years ago, and I think a lot of people today in America maybe are going through what you went through. You are somebody that was the vice chair for the DNC, I believe, right? You are somebody that supported Bernie, and you even talked about Bernie. You are
That's it. Me too.
Somebody that even voted and supported for Biden. You are somebody that also in the past said to Crystal Ball and Soccer, look, there's no question in my mind that Donald Trump is unfit to serve as president and commander-in-chief. I've said this over and over again. I'm running for president to defeat him for that specific reason. Then in the past, you said to ABC senior Washington reporter Devin Dyer, I believe, stoking these racist feelings and stoking religious bigotry in this country, tearing apart an already divided country for his own political gain, is beneath the office of the presidency and undermines the very values and principles of our democracy. You've also said in another statement here in 2020, you said in a statement following her vote, Tulsi said, I'm standing in the center and I've decided to vote present. This is in 2020. I could not in good conscience vote against impeachment because I believe President Trump is guilty. Then you've also come up and you told, I believe, Tapper I just came from intelligence briefings from that the administration came and brought to Congress. Really, they provided vague comments, no justification whatsoever for this illegal and unconstitutional act of war President Trump took. You've also said, I can continue a bunch of different things.
Oh, my goodness.
Now,
so in case you're thick as a rock, what he's, bringing up all these quotes is because, like, hey, not only were you previously against Trump, but you were previously running in the Democratic Party. And, to be honest with you, I was willing to vote for Tulsi as president. This was also in my Bernie bro days. But, just saying, the landscape has changed a lot. But I just like when we're talking about the Christianity thing, I'm very skeptical to anybody who is going to ride so hard for one side and then switch and ride for the other. I do believe people can change, people can learn, people can all of that stuff. I definitely did, but we have to be skeptical and we have to look at the reasons that they give and whether they're being truthful or not. So let's see how she answers all of that. Or he said, I'm not 69, said, so he's going deep in the receipts. I can respect it. Yup.
Many of us have made a lot of comments in the past before. Many of us used to be a different side politically, but you may have been the one that's pissed off Democrats the most. Why did you leave the Democratic Party to be where you are today?
Hold up. Virgil, I appreciate the heart and the like. Thank you very much. But hell no. Y'all lost that war once. We are the empire.
Every one of you has a book there where I go into detail about exactly why I did that. But, there are a few different things that you cited there in those quotes. And we won't spend too much time dissecting every one of them. But I've made no secret about the fact that there were different decisions that President Trump made that I disagreed with. The one vote that you cited was I was the only Democrat in Congress who did not vote to impeach Donald Trump because I saw what that was exactly. It was a political witch hunt specifically for partisan reasons and how dangerous a precedent that sets. Our founding fathers warned against that impeachment being used for partisan purposes rather than for what it was actually intended for. I never got into the kind of personal smears and attacks that the Democrats did.
True. Shout out to Ian. Welcome. Said Tulsi took the pledge in 2015. Yeah, so that's exactly what we're looking at. PBD just read off a list of things directly attacking Trump, supporting the impeachment, all that type of stuff. And so this is precisely what she is answering for. And so again, the types of answers that she gives is going to tell us, is she for real or is she just BSing? Welcome to the party, brother.
Against Donald Trump when he was president, because I felt that for our political discourse in this country, whether we agree or we disagree, we need to stay focused on the substance. A lot has happened in our country from then until now. I was critical of my then party's president, Barack Obama, and earned the ire of Democrats at that time.
True.
I've been known.
So that's a point right there that even when she was on the left, she was willing to say the things that weren't so popular.
To be an independent thinker and a straight shooter. My country comes first. It always has. It always will.
Even it's sad. It's sad that is a statement that, well, my country comes first. And again, it's just words. But the fact that you're willing to say that and the fact that you need to say that, where it might be, we just heard Ben Shapiro saying that Israel is the only reason that he likes America. Like, come on, bro.
That's what motivates the decisions that I've made. And ultimately what drove me to leave the Democratic Party was how could I, in good conscience, align myself with a party that at every step of the way has become the party that opposes freedom, that completely derides the Constitution and throws in the trash, doesn't believe that it's relevant to our country today. And as we are seeing over and over, and it looks like we'll talk about some of these examples, at every turn, they are willing to undermine the rule of law and politicize all these government agencies, the Department of Justice, law enforcement, and so on, just to remain in power, going so far as to try to take away every one of our rights to decide who we want to vote for in this election. And they're doing that through the court of law. They've done it through over 32 states trying to get Donald Trump off of the ballot. They are so terrified of we, the American people, making, quote unquote, the wrong choice in their minds, that they are willing to take away our freedom to supposedly protect ourselves and, in their words, to save democracy, to destroy democracy in order to save it. But really what they're doing is just trying to protect themselves.
And so, yeah, you guys are listing all this this stuff, and PBD is listing all this stuff about what she did and what she did. Great, yes, we're all aware that she was a lefty. She ran for president in the Democratic Party. She's not some super based red pill MAGA whatever. We're all aware of that. What we're here to see is she genuinely changing or not?
But it shows that twisted mindset, and
she has not been anti-2A. She's a or was that the one thing? That might have been the one thing that I was like, yeah, okay, that my mistake. That was the one thing. I was like, how are you a veteran and you're anti-2A?
We saw it in the Supreme Court ruling on that Colorado case with the Colorado ballot, when unanimously the Supreme Court said, no, the people decide elections. A court doesn't unilaterally get to decide who's allowed to be on a ballot and who's not.
Mm-hmm. And again, I just will remind you guys that 2015 was almost 10 years ago.
And the reaction from people like David Axelrod and senior Democrats and the Democrat elite across the board, they immediately criticized the Supreme Court, which included some of people from their team, and threw up their hands and said, oh gosh, I guess the American people have to be the ones to save our democracy. It shows that twisted mindset that I saw building over time throughout the time I was in the Democratic Party, and it got to a point where there was no way I could associate.
I think that's something a little different.
Myself with them anymore.
You know why I'm asking that question? And by the way, for those of you that are watching, her book, did the book come out today or?
You guys are getting advanced copies, every one of you.
Right.
The book is not out yet. For those who have put in pre-orders, it will be in your mailbox on May 1st.
Yeah, this is like, by the way, everybody that's here is getting a signed copy by Tulsi, just so you know.
I don't care. Talk about the stuffs.
Rob, if you can show her Manek, the first 5 because well, keep and ship. Thank you for that. Let me go back to the question why I asked you. When I asked the question,
so okay, we didn't really get anything very strong about, you said all these negative things about Trump. What has changed? Why are you now going back on those things? What's changed your mind? What anything? We didn't get anything. What we did get is specifically why she doesn't like the Democrats, which is a good start, but there's a big difference between not liking the Democratic Party and not only being in favor of Trump, but being willing to back up Trump as his VP. Shout out to Dylan Soup. Welcome to the party. Excuse me. It says, the "We forgive you, Tulsi" narrative relies on you believing Tulsi Gabbard wasn't smart enough to know what she was a part of. Well, again, fair. And Ian says, I personally don't think she's dumb. Fair. But remember how this is the false, not false dichotomy, but the false carve out that the liberals always have for Trump, as if because Trump is not super nice, that it's like, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know, like, that doesn't mean that, number one, there's anybody in politics who don't know what they're doing, and two, that they can't still work in a way that helps our lives. You're not going to get somebody who is smart or excuse me, you're not going to get somebody who is either dumb or not in favor of the things that's going to get that far. So I'm with you. Again, I'm not here to tell you all that you should like Tulsi. You don't have to keep reminding me about stuff. We're here to see, okay, now that she's saying this, how does that apply? And just as I'm saying now, that I don't really think that was a good enough answer to all of the particular quotes that PBD had.
Question like that, it almost seems like it's an asshole question, right? Why would you bring something up like that? Why would you start off with something like that?
Wait, start out with what?
Get up your first 50 states. Think to you, if you're not an American, why up like that? Why would you start off with something like that?
What?
I only bring that up.
What is it called? Leaving the okay
question, right? Why would you bring something up like that? Why would you start off with something like that? I only bring that up because I think a lot of people in America feel that way, that maybe before, everybody had an impression of who he was and what he was doing because of what we were watching everywhere. And a lot of people got bamboozled where you're sitting there saying, man, this is really what's going on. He was really dealing with Russia. Was he really doing this? Is he really doing, and then year, 2 years, 3 years, wait, this was all Hillary doing this to him and she did it to you. So was there a part of it for you where you're sitting there saying, you guys are the Democratic Party. You guys are some deceptive, dark, gamifying, dividing America for at any cost to fool people just to win an election.
And the only way that that is as relevant as you guys are trying to make it seem, as if that is not the case with the GOP. And it is.
Did you experience that kind of anger and agitation where you finally said, I'm done with you guys. You guys almost had me, but I'm out of here?
Yeah, yes, but I saw it very early on. I saw it throughout that 2016 campaign. I saw how the dangerous rhetoric, the Russian agent rhetoric they were using against Donald Trump during that campaign, and
then you,
and as a soldier and a veteran, when you have people in positions of power using that kind of dangerous rhetoric, it's not just empty words thrown around on a campaign trail. There are actually foreign policy related consequences and national security related consequences to that. I was invited to meet with Donald Trump 2 weeks after he was elected in 2016. This was right before Thanksgiving. And I was the first Democrat in Congress to go and meet with him, flew from Hawaii to New York, and had a conversation with him about foreign policy. There were some folks around him who asked me to go and speak to him specifically about the Middle East, about combating radical Islamist terrorism, what's going on with ISIS and Al-Qaeda. And of course, I was grateful for the opportunity to go and meet the person who would be our next president, commander in chief. And we had a great conversation. Point to point, sat across from his desk there in Trump Tower. We talked for almost an hour. He asked a lot of great questions, shared a lot of his insights. I did the same. And I can't even tell you how much my phone blew up as soon as I walked out of that building afterward. And
yeah, next thing, I don't want a nice president. I want an effective president. I certainly don't want an old man with dementia as our president. And so while I don't think that the nice versus not nice really applies to Tulsi, the integrity is what we're talking about. And so you have to be of lesser integrity to be in politics. Full stop. So all of the people that we think about voting for are don't have the type of integrity that we would want from a person. You cannot order, they'll lose. So if you're getting this far, you're willing to trade your principles and morals, if you have any in the first place, to get where you need to go. That is a given. We are judging these people despite that because they all have it. They all have it. Dylan Soup is swooning. She does look good here. I have a personal pet peeve that bad skin is just it's just a personal preference. It's not saying that she's a bad person, but yeah, she looked good. She looked good. He said, I'd like for someone to ask her why she did a George Floyd memorial live stream, because that's for virtue signaling. That's what politicians do. What do you mean?
One of the things that struck me was how so many of my Democrat colleagues back then, even some family members, they were horrified. They were horrified that I had the gall to meet with Donald Trump and criticized me for, quote unquote, humanizing him.
Come on, guys, pay attention. Pay attention. What are we doing here?
That was probably one of the first things that I saw that just showed, what we now know as the Trump derangement syndrome. To me, any member of Congress who cares about the country and who cares about a specific issue, if you're invited to meet with the President of the United States and you don't take that opportunity, then you are doing a disservice to the people who voted you into office.
Facts. And so that's another aspect of, people or her going and willing to talk to Trump, knowing that it's going to look bad for her, for the reason of trying to help the people that she represents. That's unfortunately where the bar is. That's unfortunately how low the bar is. Are you willing to get in trouble with some of your constituents if it's the right thing? And if you are, then you're in the at least the top 50 percentile. Yeah, that's, again, what is it that you think? Like, why do you think anybody did anything about anything with George Floyd? I'm not sure what you're trying to get to. So are we saying that nobody who said anything about George Floyd can ever have a good opinion on anything? Like, come on, man.
Whether you agree with them or not on other issues, whether you like them, you don't like them, that's not the point. If you care about solving problems, if you care about actually doing the work of the people, of course, take every opportunity to do that. And it only escalated from there. And it was, conversations that happened in the cloakroom off the House floor in the Democratic caucus. People were unable to see things as they were, just from a substantive policy standpoint. And instead, things very quickly devolved into some alternate reality that sounded like a good political talking point, but wasn't actually a reflection of what was happening.
And by the way, you know, we were looking at that video from earlier today in New York. Rob, can you pull up this video? So this is New York City today.
Shout out to Indyville. Welcome to the party. So I'm mixed on Tulsi being VP. I like her, but I don't think her politics align with my libertarian ways. And so that is precisely what we are looking at. The policies that she has espoused so far have been from the, trying to get far in the Democratic establishment. Now she's trying to get far in the Republican establishment. And so how she does that, what she changes, is going to show, okay, is she aware of things like this, of people thinking in this manner? Because that's the hurdle to overcome. It's not just about her policies. Now it's about overcoming the idea that she was the other. And so I'm right there with you. And I completely agree. I think I like her, but I gotta see something that tells me that the switch isn't just not even fake. Like I don't think it would make sense to do this and like fake it. But are you here for the right reasons? Do you actually believe what you're saying, and do you actually care about all this? So that is really what we're looking about. Shout out to M169 with an early comment of the night. We can't whine about TDS and then turn around and miss an opportunity to bridge a divide. Bingo. If there is no way for anybody to have redemption, grace and forgiveness, something that the Bible teaches you, if we can't have that stuff, then we're just forever going to be at odds. And if you want if you just want to be fighting all the time, move to Gaza. That's what they're about. In America, we're about trying to be peaceful. And good points. I mean, Trump's not a libertarian either. But when we look at the true dichotomy of Trump and Biden, the question is, how much does Tulsi even factor into that? Like, are we saying that because Tulsi is or was, maybe not still is, but at least as we last knew, anti-2A, that Trump is just all of a sudden going to want to ban guns? Obviously not. What I mean, can you even name one quote from Mike Pence? It's a figurehead position. And so it's not really about who she is. It's more about what votes does she bring in. Who are the people that, want to vote for Trump and need somebody like Tulsi to give them internally permission to do so? That is what we are talking about. Great comment. Let's get going. Dylan said many people had that gut initial reaction to that video, but now more information has come out. Unfortunately, though, Chauvin didn't receive a fair trial. He couldn't, not with that viral video. Yeah, I was right there, up in arms with everybody. That this is post red pilling, and I thought it was a horrible thing. But that's because of how the cell phone video was. That's just it. And exactly. So he's much closer, which is why he's running for the president. And then the question is, what voters are we bringing in with Tulsi versus a Tim Scott? We're getting there, bro. We're getting there. Chill. We're 9 minutes in.
From earlier today in New York. Rob, can you pull up this video? So this is New York City today. Okay, this just happened apparently a few hours ago, where a lot of folks in New York who are sitting in this video saying, we see ourselves as Democrats, and this is how we feel today. Rob, let me know if you have the video ready or not. If you do, go ahead and play the video.
In the past, we are basically Democrats, all of us. And after what's happened the last 4 years in this country, Democrats are basically pushing everybody to the other side. We're a very patriotic group, and we love our country.
In case you didn't notice, this is an FDNY thing right here. M169 saying, I did too. I was a black to blue conservative. These are people are changing. And if we don't allow that, if we gatekeep conservatism by not only Christianity, but you have to have been MAGA from 2015, you're gonna lose. Do you care more about being right, or do you care more about fixing the country? So I don't think people would be swayed by whoever Trump is with. People are done with Biden. That I think is a good kind of safety thing that I don't think it's going to matter that much. But what was the stat here? 42% of you said you will vote for Trump unless Tulsi's the VP. Now, does that mean you're going to vote for Biden? Does that mean you're not going to vote when Biden's on the ticket? I don't know if I believe you, but that's what you say. Dylan said, ask the celebs first about adopting kids like it's a fashion. What?
Basically pushing everybody to the other side. We're a very patriotic group, and we love our country, and we want the best for America. We are tired of immigration. We're tired of our tax dollars going to immigration. We're tired of the crime. We need to put a handle on things in this country and bring it back to how it should be. I put out a poll in my union. President Trump is leading Joe Biden 3-1 on my presidential poll out of my 9,000 members right now. We are very tired of the situation with groceries, inflation, gas prices, illegal immigration, crime. We're living it every day in New York City.
Bro, it says New York City right here, and they're very obviously, you guys, Jersey and New York are two different states. No, but yeah, definitely. And yeah, Dylan, I wish I was paying attention during that, because I don't think I ever would have gone down the never Trumper route if I was paying attention to the GG. I don't even want to say it here. That is clearly New York. Clearly.
Gas prices, illegal immigration, crime. We're living it every day in New York City.
Why do you think this is happening?
I don't believe you. You're saying this because of last night, aren't you? I don't believe you. You're fucking with me. I don't believe you. You know exactly where I'm from.
Crime. We're living it every day in New York City.
Why do you think this is happening? I mean, this is New York City. Some are even saying President Trump may have a chance of winning New York. He even thinks he may have a chance of winning New York.
Yeah.
Why do you think they got here, specifically Union?
This is something that I talk about quite a bit. Is this guy who you just had on there? He's the president of the Steamfitters Union there in New York City. In my experience, and President Trump had recognized this as well, even when he ran before, is when you go to the construction trades unions, the unions that actually represent the working people, there's a huge difference between them and what we see from the National Education Association, which is essentially a political arm of the Democratic Party that doesn't really look out for teachers.
Nope. Okay, so you mean before last night? So if anybody missed it, I tried out the vertical version of StreamYard to see, I was just on my phone, so you could watch it like full screen on your phone, vertical, like it was a TikTok or something, but it was a stream, and we actually had a good time. But there was 3 different people, and Jay, that apparently thought that I was from the West Coast. Is it the long hair? What is it? I don't like that it's giving West Coast. I'm not sure I like that.
Arm of the Democratic Party that doesn't really look out for teachers. They are pushing a very clear political agenda. These guys are seeing what most people in the country are seeing, that no matter how much President Biden and his administration says, well, Bidenomics is working, guys, everything's great. Anybody who goes shopping at the grocery store
is like, is it though? Nah, bro.
Knows that Bidenomics is not working and that inflation continues to rise. And there are so many families and people struggling in our country. And so that's really where I see this election is about. It is really about the elite, the political elite versus the people.
So the elite versus the people. How is that different than Trump's message? And will that reach different people than if Trump said the same thing? And if you say, no, it's not different, and yes, it will reach more people, I feel like that's the starting point that we have to consider. We have to consider.
And so I would not be surprised to see many more people, whether they are verbally coming out and saying what that union leader was saying or keeping it to themselves, but recognizing the reality of what their family is facing and then hopefully casting their votes that reflect that reality.
Yeah, it's wild to see that. Again, I don't mean to keep going back to New York. Obviously, we all know what New York is doing right now to the president. But Rob, Can you pull up the Harvey Weinstein story of what the Morning Joe was just announcing earlier today?
So shout out to Megamoo 32. We did actually cover this in its own stream on Monday, but the StreamYard gods weren't having it, and the sound was a little iffy. But if you can make it through, I think we did have an interesting conversation.
A couple hours ago, I sent a clip to you as well. We keep going back to New York over and over and over and over and over again because the gag order. Well, he can't say anything. Every time he says something, it's another, $1,000 fine they're going to have. And I want you to watch Morning Joe. We all know Joe Scarborough, smart guy. This is not somebody that doesn't know what he's doing. He's been around for a while. He's been around the block. He went to school, a pretty left school as a conservative himself. And he has to read the script of what New York chose to do to Harvey Weinstein. Rob, if you have the clip, it's just 55 seconds or something. Please play this clip.
There you go. So you said voting red no matter what. And I mean, at this point, I think I am as well, but not no matter. Like, there's definitely things that could change my opinion. It's a long way to November. Yeah, right. Is it all?
The New York Appeals Court.
Wait, I want to hear this in full.
It's just 55 seconds or something. Please play this clip.
The New York Appeals Court overturns Harvey Weinstein's 2020 rape conviction from the landmark Me Too trial.
Look at her reaction.
Written by Michael Sissick with the AP. New York's highest court on Thursday overturned Harvey Weinstein's 2020 rape conviction, finding the judge at the landmark Me Too trial prejudiced the ex-movie mogul with improper rulings, including a decision to let women testify about allegations that were not part of the case. Harvey Weinstein is, though, of course, he's in jail in Los Angeles after being convicted of rape in 2022. Other charges there. So he will still be in jail there. But this case, which came 4 years ago, reversed. Breaking.
Whoopsie.
Meanwhile, can you do it?
Whoopsie. Yeah. So, there's not a conservative bone in that man's body. He is what MSNBC calls conservative, because anything left of Joe Scarborough is far-right extremist, white supremacist. He said Vivek was my second choice, but racist America will never let him in. And I hate to agree with the racism part, but it really is just that he's brown and he's Hindu. I saw so many people who were just on that. We're like, nah, damn, I thought we were past that. But all right. And but he was a Democrat. That's a very different thing. Montevo said, Nate the lawyer covered the Harvey case recently. If you watch it, you'll also understand why the ruling was reversed. So yeah, from what I gathered in that stream, which I'm sure none of you actually were able to sit through, basically they had a bunch of SA cases that were not connected to the specific New York case, and they used those other cases to establish, like, yeah, this guy does this, but they weren't supposed to bring those cases in. And so it's like, if you got a speeding ticket, or rather, let's put it the other way. Let's say if you were accused of murdering somebody, and then they try to bring in the fact that you got in a fight in high school. It's like, well, hold on. No. That you can't bring that in. And so even though so it's not much saying none were convictions from those witnesses. Yeah. So I don't know the exact details, but it was they were just using evidence that, to the average person should absolutely be part of, like, hey, this guy does this stuff, and establishing a pattern of character and all that stuff. But the law is the law, and the only reason that the justice system works as well as it does, which is because of those those rails. Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. Because he's not white, he's not Christian. If he was a Democrat, that might not be that might not be as big of a deal. But Virgil said, "What happened to turn the other cheek?" Nah, I'm good. Really? You think that's what hurt him the most? Maybe, but I think it's. I would say this if Trump wasn't in the picture, because that was Trump's whole thing, is that we so many people didn't think that Trump could do a good job because he had no experience, And then he came in, and it's like, oh, okay, we don't want somebody who does it the same way. We want somebody to do things differently. So I don't know, but whatever it was, America is not ready for Vivek. Yeah, not me. That's what I think. That's what I think. And so now I was shocked the judge allowed that. It's normally not done because it's unfairly prejudicial, which is why they overturned it. You said nobody living in America follows the Bible to a T. Let's not pretend. Yup. What? Yeah, true. But I'm just saying that I don't know if that's the biggest thing. You said it was the biggest thing. I don't think it was.
Which came 4 years ago, reversed. Breaking.
Meanwhile, can you do me a favor, Rob? Because I want to get the full reaction to this from Tulsi. Can you play the Michelle Obama clip of the wonderful endorsement that Harvey Weinstein got? I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. It's a beautiful, very heartfelt type of endorsement.
Yeah, obviously he would never be a Democrat. I'm just saying if somebody was brown and Hindu, then that would be less of a problem, assumingly, on the left and the right.
The kind that gets you a little bit emotional and sentimental type of endorsement,
tissues?
right?
Do you have tissues
Where,
over there?
I got over it because I saw it earlier. So Rob, if you're ready, please, guys, if you're ready, brace for impact. You may get emotional. Go ahead.
Very touching.
Yeah.
I said, shit. Me too. This is what this channel is fighting. This is what I'm here for. And I'm going to win. I don't lose. Strap in.
Yeah, go ahead,
I want
Rob.
to start by thanking Harvey Weinstein for organizing this amazing day. Harvey.
And of course, Whoopi Goldberg's right there.
This is possible because of Harvey. He is a wonderful human being, a good friend,
Is he even a human being?
and just a powerhouse. And the fact that he and his team took the time to make this happen for all of you should say something, not about me or about this place, but about you. All right, everybody, we are here because of you.
So now Harvey in New York, let's kind of move on. But Trump, gag order, can't talk, prevented from campaigning. As somebody that's been in this space for a while, you've had some of the biggest fights with heavyweights. In the left, it doesn't get any heavier and scarier than Hillary Clinton. You went straight after her, and she started saying you're a Russian asset or something. I don't know if do you guys remember when that happened?
Yup.
How many of you guys remember when Tulsi went after Hillary? What was your reaction the first time? You're like, oh my gosh, I love this girl, right?
That is what got me, got her on my radar. That I was finally paying attention to politics. I was like, okay, well, I can't vote for Trump, obviously. And so I still hated Hillary Clinton at the time. And so I was looking at Bernie. I was looking at Tulsi. And then I wasn't strong enough. I wasn't strong enough to stand on my business. But you live and you learn, right? You live and you learn.
Did we all kind of convert?
You know what's funny, Pat, is long before she said that, and this was, I want to touch on the Bernie thing, but I resigned as vice chair of the DNC because I saw how, for two main reasons. I saw how directly Debbie Wasserman Schultz was rigging the primary in favor of Hillary Clinton.
I'll tell you why, Ian, because the people that I saw saying, I like Vivek, but weren't saying, I like Vivek, but he's too young. They were saying, I like Vivek, but we need an old school American. We need a Christian. I don't like that he's Hindu. I don't, all that kind of stuff. Nothing to do with age. And specifically in this election, age being too old was the issue. So yes, I honestly believe that.
Directly, Debbie Wasserman Schultz was rigging the primary in favor of Hillary Clinton, number one. And number two, I saw how across the mainstream media, across the Democratic Party, they were touting Hillary Clinton as, and you probably remember this, the most qualified person ever to run for president in our country's history. Ever. And they threw that line out over and over and over again, but never backed it up with anything. They never said, oh, well, yes, she was Secretary of State. Yes, she was U.S. Senator. Yes, she was First Lady. But what did she actually do? What was her record there? What kind of impact and influence did she have on the president from those positions of power? What were the consequences of her votes, specifically related to her being the queen of warmongers? So she wants to be commander in chief, but nobody's pointing to her record. That pissed me off. And so I resigned as vice chair of the DNC.
There you go.
I saw the choice in that primary between essentially Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. Bernie Sanders, largely a non-interventionist, And I took the opportunity and I endorsed him solely on that issue to have a platform to go out and hit the road and call Hillary Clinton out for her foreign policy record.
So real quick, Ian, Vivek did better than they did because he had better ideas. He did better than they did despite the fact that he's not white and Christian.
And to sound the alarm to the American people on what kind of dangerous person she would be if allowed to be commander-in-chief.
Mm-hmm.
Two things happened after I made that announcement on Meet the Press. Washington, the age-old thing is you don't trust anybody. If you want a friend, they say get a dog. I didn't tell a soul. I didn't tell
Shout out to Morty.
my best friends in Washington what I was going to do because I trusted no one. We set up an interview, a live interview on Sunday, Meet the Press. Didn't tell them what I was going to say, just that I had a big announcement to make. They saved me a slot. 30 seconds before I was about to walk out on the stage,
She's like, I'm out of here. F you guys. Throwing up the bird. Yeah, MAGA.
I clicked send on an email to Debbie Wasserman Schultz and the other vice chairs saying I am resigning effective immediately, and here's why. Went on there, made the announcement Sunday morning, went back to work in Congress on Monday, and I lost track of how many of my Democrat colleagues just said, Tulsi, you just committed political suicide.
And so again, that notion of them all, she wasn't unaware that's how that would go. And so that is not, not everything. We're just, different tacks on this side, pros and cons. So that is something in the pros column. Something in the negative column is that she didn't really have a good answer as to why she's changed her opinion on the specific things that PBD quoted. That's a little bit of an issue. But again, as Nick was talking about earlier, we don't even need Tulsi to like Trump. We just need her to think that he is the best option and that she's willing to follow his lead. That's all. They don't have to be friends. You think Mike Pence liked Trump? Issa said, Trump has a spine and talks about the hard topic. Indeed. Zippy said, party support is the end-all be-all to U.S. politics, sadly. Hey, there he is. Go on, Tech in the building. Welcome to the party. Who was it? I think it was Jay, right? Jay had a question earlier about where did PBD come from? Why is he so famous? And I know that he was in sales and stuff. I was like, wait till Guamtech comes here. I think he'll have a better answer. So if you do, please let us know. What does Guamtech say? Is that I still have a lot of research to do on Tulsi's pitfalls. One of my favorites. Yeah, that's kind of our starting point. Is that we're very aware of like who she was as the Democrat, as the anti-Trumper, as the Democratic presidential candidate. Now she's, and it's not like she's like coming out as a red pilled just today, but this is really her first time, kind of being out there like this. And then of course she was on Rogan today, so we'll check that out. I don't think there's gonna be enough in that for it to be worth it to come back and cover that again. But it is gonna be important to be able to see. And so as we're watching this, then we can see, oh, great. Now when she says something different, or she says the same thing on Rogan, we're like, all right, bet she's for real. Zippy said the real problem is that GOP has no clue what they are doing. They're just following the gutter. They've dug walking out of the same path for decades. Well said. So yeah, it came from insurance sales, same industry. We'll say that his product is kind of ish. Oh God, oh no. Hey, shout out to our boy Unwanted Foe with the $2 super chat. Said, feed that boy, feed that good boy. Eat it, bro. Yummy. Thank you. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Thank you. So very, very much. Let's get a couple of these before we dive right back in. MC9 said, get over the notion that presidents and their VPs are best pals. They rarely are. In fact, usually they hate each other because of the fact that they just ran against each other. It's just, this is a whole different thing because we had two incumbents. So, it's a little bit different, but yeah. Nick said, we've never had a president who doesn't at least claim to be Christian. And I don't think we will until things change. So we have to support our boy here. The Indian Jesus is the chance we need. There you go. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And who you talking to yourself? Bro, you're the one out here. Well, she can't be this, that, because she did this 10 years ago. What you talking about, bro? What you talking about, though? Zippy said, shocked Clinton was Christian. I thought he was black. I mean, may as well. May as well. I don't think that probably, I would assume that Bush was the last actually believer president. Right? That makes sense. You're saying they're gatekeepers? In what way? They're bringing Tulsi on as a, I don't know.
No, Hillary Clinton's
Let's back that up.
Democrat colleagues just said, Tulsi, you just committed political suicide. You know Hillary Clinton's going to be president, right? Your constituents in Hawaii, my district in Hawaii is the 2nd district, covers every island in the state. You will not get a single penny for your district when Hillary Clinton is elected president. It doesn't matter how badly your constituents need new roads built or new infrastructure funded.
That's Hillary Clinton.
You're not going to get anything. One of them who had endorsed Barack Obama very early on in 2008 over Hillary Clinton, he said, Tulsi, you need to know that there is actually a shit list. I know because I was on it. And
now you are.
It will take you at least a decade to get off that list, just so you know.
And she did it anyway.
I was at one of the presidential primary debates. I think it was actually here in Miami. And I was being interviewed on live TV by an MSNBC reporter. Again, this is 2016. And that reporter said, Tulsi, aren't you afraid of what the Clintons will do to you? And that was really the first kind of red flag signal that went up. And I smiled and I said, no, of course I'm not afraid. I know exactly what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And I'm concerned for the future of our country if Hillary Clinton's elected president.
And here's the other thing that there's many of us who were on the left and then the left just shifted. So the fact that you were in a position on the left, if you were already a moderate person on the left, then by default, today in 2024, you are on the right, whether you like it or not.
But I think Hillary never forgot that. And that ultimately is one of the many things that led to her taking the same tack that they are taking with Donald Trump, which is, well, they must be agents of Russia.
Yep. Shout out to Bonzik. Welcome to the party. What do we got? He said it's like how movie critic lick boots so they can get exclusive access. Same thing. I would definitely say that a lot more about PBD than Rogan. I don't think Rogan gives a shit.
That they are taking with Donald Trump, which is, well, they must be agents of Russia. That's all they have.
And that's the biggest compliment, though. If she attacks you, you are officially someone she fears.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's a better compliment you can get. Like, I don't know who's quoted on the back of your book, but one of the quotes needs to be Hillary Clinton because it should be a way, like a badge of honor. And the reason why I say this, I was on a Twitter Spaces a couple months ago, and there was a lot of people talking about different VP and who would.
Does anybody know why Twitter Spaces do not have video? Does anybody know? Is that I mean, it has to be a purposeful thing, but why? Why? He said he would have Trump on. Maybe Trump doesn't want to. You're really good. You're really good at pushing my buttons and saying things that you know that have a reasonable other side, and you just choose an opinion. You're very good at that. So he said, I really hate how centralized districts and representatives are. We need more reps based on square mile and population count. Representation of the people, not prison cities. Not bad. I agree.
Twitter Spaces a couple months ago, and there was a lot of people talking about different VP and who would be good and who would be this and who would be that.
He's more recently changed his mind.
I'm not in the political world, but we get a lot of weird phone calls of people wanting to ask us for counsel. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? We're just regular people that are running.
All right. Let's do it. Will Rogan If it's not right here, then it's
money to have that. So when you're having Trump on,
I don't know.
okay, the look.
I don't know. Maybe.
Looks like you got something.
Maybe.
Okay, good. That's good. I think that's.
Look, at a certain point in time, it's just like it would be interesting to hear his perspective on a lot of things. I would like to know, what is it like when you actually get into office? I would like to know things like what is it like versus perception?
Yeah.
What is it actually like when you get in that building? Like,
So we're talking about Rogan 6 and 3 years ago. We're talking about Tulsi 10 years ago. I'm worried about today. I'm aware of all of that, which is why it is important to focus on today. And so, even if Bonzig is essentially saying the same thing, recently Tulsi does seem like a grip, even though if she is a babe. That's really what we're trying to discuss. We're trying to determine today, what does her actions mean? Not look back at what happened over the last 10 years and decide that is who she is forever. Maybe it is. Maybe she's grifting. But you can't know that until you listen to what she has to say. Just as M169 was saying, if you're going to decide that anybody who had a wrong opinion that's different than you from 10 years ago can never be on your side, then you are going to lose. You are going to lose.
Wanting to ask us for counsel. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? We're just regular people that are running businesses, but every once in a while, weird people call us. And I always bring up your name because there's something that is fearless about you. I love when someone knows how to rattle other people on the other side. And in boxing,
this is a great reason. This is a great reason why you have the wrong position. So Ian says, I judge books by their content. If 42 out of the 45 chapters are garbage, I don't go calling the book great because the last 3 chapters are excellent. Completely fair. How many chapters have we gone through in Tulsi's life? And how many chapters are there in total? Oh, you don't know? That's the fucking point. So if this was the end of the book, and yeah, the last 3 chapters were great, but the last 42 sucked, then yes, I would be right on board with you. But that's not the situation. That's not the situation. For all you know, there's 500 chapters, and maybe the first 42 sucked, and the last 450 were great. In that case, that would be a pretty good book, no? That's what we're talking about. You've made up your decision before you even have to hear what they have to say. And you're free to do that, but I'm not going to. So, and again, just so you're aware, I'm not I'm not like, throwing shade at you, but this is why I'm not going to spend a lot of time on all the things that you're saying, because I feel like I've addressed it.
I love when someone knows how to rattle other people on the other side. And in boxing, we just had a very big fight.
Right. And she's going to die at what age? She's going to die at what age?
Which was who?
Ryan
Garcia against Devin Haney. I don't know if you watch it or not. Ryan fooled the world, right? He literally trolled the world, and he said it. I trolled you guys, and I won, right?
What happened with that? Because I ever since I've been out of the UFC world, I completely missed the Ryan Garcia thing. What, like, as far as I understand from videos that I saw in my subscriptions, he was acting up, or maybe he was acting like he was on drugs or something. And then I was listening to this in the car, and he was saying that he trolled everybody. I'm not sure. If anybody has information, please let me know. Quantek said, can anyone actually give me a decent critique of Tulsi Gabbard without relying on Democrat smear campaigns and talking points? No shade. I just want to know for my own reference. Bingo. That is the mentality that I can appreciate.
Troll the world,
I know.
He literally trolled the world, and he said it. I trolled you guys, and I won, right? I'd love a rematch to see what he's going to do with, Tank Davis. Maybe not at 134 pounds or 136 pounds, that he can only gain 10 pounds. Maybe at 145, and he can gain whatever the weight. I'd love to see what that rematch fight looks like. Oh, I would love to see you and
Kamala
on stage.
Yes.
Yes! Can you imagine that visual, right?
There you go.
If Tulsi's chosen as the VP, I just want to, if they sold that pay-per-view, my gosh, we would sell millions of pay-per-view.
I would buy that pay-per-view. Dilly to that one moment. Not that Kamala had any chances, but it was that moment that her chances were crushed for real.
There's a fundraising idea for Donald Trump's
Of course
campaign.
there is. That would be an easy one, right? So now I just think about, so maybe let me ask the question a different way from you. If Donald Trump is watching this and somebody asks a very simple question, how should he assess who to choose as a VP this time around that's different than 2020? Because 2016, because 2016, Pence was kind of strategic where he was going, a state that could have helped him out.
Bonzig said, I can't wait for the Trump-Biden era to be done. It is so exhausting. I completely agree with you. I can't wait. I can't wait for the entire Democratic establishment to finally realize, that no, maybe there's some people, but it's not about being a cultist for Trump. It's about Trump being the only guy who's saying the other things, who's not brown and Hindu. But, it's going to be so nice because somebody else is going to come up and have these America first ideas. And it's not going to be Trump. And it's like, oh, wait, you guys actually think this? It wasn't just because Trump said it? No. Hey, shout out to the Funk Master General. Oh, my goodness. Big baller with the $10. And, of course, gets a treat for Morty. Welcome to the party. Thank you so very, very much. Everybody put Funk Master General in the chat. What does he say? Tulsi's all right, but we're standing on the edge of world war and collapse at home. She's not a strong enough leader to be second in command right now. She's not much of a leader at all, really. Fair enough. And, a lot of what we're looking at is, has any of that changed? And does she have anything to offer that that is different than what we've seen? That's what I'm looking for, because, as Ian is listing in extent, there's a lot of things that she's gotten wrong. But we have to be able to have the grace that if you got something wrong and now you're right about it, then you can be part of the fold. If we gatekeep everything behind, you must have always believed in God and you must have always believed in Trump, then we're gonna lose. Right? Welcome to the party. FFG in the building.
Kind of strategic where he was going, a state that could have helped him out. Evangelical, Christian, yes. Kind of calm, doing his own thing, Kind
of a middle America psyche too.
Yeah. And Trump kind of needed that because he was a little bit edgy. So everybody's like, okay, that guy's going to be in his ear. At least somebody has got a little bit of calm temperament that's going to be okay.
Shout out again to the sponsor of the stream, the Funk Master General. Very much appreciated.
How do you think strategically would be the right choice to make as a VP today? What do you think is different about 2024 versus 2016?
Well, first of all, I think it's important, and I get concerned every time I meet people as I travel who say, "Yeah, Trump's going to win this election. It's in the bag. It's a done deal." I've been through enough elections and I've seen enough elections where it is not done until that last vote is cast. And it concerns me when I hear this from people because it allows for a sense of complacency. We saw this in 2022. The outcome of the election was very different than what pundits on both sides of the aisle were saying it would be. And I think, and I talked to different campaign operatives. They said, well, gosh, there were 25,000 people in the state of Georgia, or 50,000 people that we expected to show up that just didn't show up and vote. So winning elections is about winning support for President Trump or anyone running for president. Frankly, you want to be able to bring people in to support you who may not already be there. And so that I think is probably one of the criteria that he's looking at, or that he should be looking at, is he's already got a huge following and a huge base of support that's very
right. It's about bringing in new
loyal
people.
How do you bring over? Right? There was a Gallup poll that came out recently, a week or two ago, that showed 43% of voting Americans are unaffiliated with either party. 43%.
Everybody's like Von Ziegler. I am sick of all of this ish. So he said modern politics is going to demonize the other side more than ever after Trump leaves politics. Elaborate on this. What do you mean? Because I feel if I play this out, then if it is going to be easier, I don't think so, because they have the target of Trump, and the ideas themselves aren't that insane. It's just that Trump is bombastic. So say more. Instead, I think what you're advocating will allow a lot of subverts in. Be more open-minded. Well, and I mean, good point. Good point. Is that not what precisely? Precisely. We do need to be more open-minded. Like, I'm not saying we need to sit around like not in a sit around and sing kumbaya type of way, but the landscape has changed dramatically in the last decade. So the people who are in one camp versus the people, it's a different thing. And so just because you, the general you, have a desire to be like, okay, I know what the left is and I know what the right is and I want to keep that whatever, that doesn't mean anything. People are still people. People are still going to vote the way that they're going to vote. So just because you have a perspective of what's conservative and what's liberal, and she was a liberal and she's not for all these things, and that's not going to stop the demographics from changing. That's not going to stop people from actually caring about what they care about and voting based on what they care about. Context, it seems to me that emotions are what got us to where we currently are in the first place. Once again, if we don't learn, we deserve to lose. I mean, I don't know how many different ways I can say it. But yeah, do you want to be right or do you want to win? I would love to do both, but it doesn't seem like we're in a world where that is possible. So let's win and get some institutional power, put the brakes on everything, and figure out, okay, a lot has changed. Where are we even? Am I even the conservative that I say, or is that just a shorthand for not woke or this? Is that really where I am? What does the new right versus the GOP? What does that even mean? And we can't have we can't have that conversation if Biden is in office, continuing to push this country off the ledge. I am not looking at Trump to be some savior. I'm looking at him to be a stopgap so that we can figure out what the fuck to do next. And so the Republican Party is way too milquetoast, and it's been that way for a long time. And that is precisely what we need to change. I don't think you can say this about Trump, right? I don't think you can say this about a Vivek. I don't think you can say this about a Josh Hawley. These people are doing the thing. We have to support that. We have to support the people who are doing the things that we like, even if they are not perfect, even if they voted in a way we didn't like before. Things are changing. One of the folks said, I haven't trusted a political poll since 2015. Yep, I remember election night sitting there. It wasn't this exact one. I'm looking on my phone. It was the New York Times, and they had the little meter. 98%. 98% for Hillary Clinton. I'm glad. But I wasn't on the night. So, yeah. Yep. The key, well, and again, I agree with you. This is what we want to change. So if you're saying, hey, she's not part of the right, the establishment that we know, and then you say that the right is this, well, isn't that good? Isn't that good that she's not like this? I would assume that if we don't like this and we get somebody who's different but has good ideas, then that would be a good thing. It's like, I know you're a Christian and all, but be open-minded about two men being married and adopting kids. Yes, because otherwise those men will vote for the other party and a lot more of the stuff with LGBT, and not about two adult men who have gone through screening to be a parents when any old straight couple can just fuck and have kids. Yeah, this is a losing position. This is a losing position. If you would like to lose, continue thinking this. They said all the energy in TDS and the hate of MAGA or the woke commies, all that energy is going to go somewhere. People not listen to Trump. They won't listen to anything. They won't listen to anyone. All they have is fear and hate, i.e. they hear people, but do not listen to them. Hence, they will lash out in hate and fear. I don't think I agree. Because I think Trump presents too easy of a way to just brush off any position, any issue, any argument. Without Trump, you can't. You're just sucking up to Trump. You just love Trump. You just Trump. When Trump's out of the picture, then people will actually have to either show that they have nothing to give back to you, no reason not to like your position. They just don't like it because they told me it's a bad thing. Or they'll actually have to engage with the conversation. And we have the better ideas. So please engage with the ideas. Yeah, less milk toast and more milk steak. Shout out to Charlie Day. Oh, almost went down the wrong hole. And 169 said, I still go back and watch the meltdown of 2016 occasionally. Can't live there, but it's nice sometimes. It is, right? To just to remember. Now, of course, I was part of that meltdown, but not like a meltdown. But again, I certainly wasn't happy about it. All right, let's dive
over. Right? There was a Gallup poll that came out recently, a week or two ago, that showed 43% of voting Americans are unaffiliated with either party. 43%.
I think that has a lot more to do with laziness than anything else.
So
Wow.
that's a huge group of people who maybe they're undecided, maybe they're decided, who knows, but they are not already locked in from a partisan standpoint.
I disagree. I think, again, I think it's laziness. I think of the 43% of people who are not affiliated, I would probably guess 80% of them already know who they're going to vote for. So, I mean, definitely worth talking about. But let's not put over-reliance on like half the country is up for grabs. It is not. It is not.
Decided, maybe they're decided, who knows, but they are not already locked in from a partisan standpoint. There's a huge number of people like Bob Bartels, the video of the union leader we just saw, people who may already be in that pocket of identified Democrat voters, but they're saying no. The Democratic Party has forced us to look elsewhere. I can't in good conscience vote for a Biden-Harris administration.
Like the New Yorkers we just saw at the beginning of this stream.
So there's a lot of folks out there, people who may have walked a similar path that I have, a similar path that Adam has walked, who maybe identified as Democrats for a really long time, but have gotten to a point where it's just like they have gone crazy. Those are the kinds of people that I don't want to say up for grabs because it sounds very transactional, but who are looking for the right answer in how they want to cast their vote.
I think that's fair. You said, do you blame Christianity for many of the shortcomings of America? I want to say no. I'll say a reaction to the people who over-relied on Christianity pushed a lot of people into the leftist, atheist, hedonistic thing. But no, I don't think. I think without Christianity, that demographic would be a lot larger. And until I can get to a place where I can fix everything, then we need Christianity to be the in between. It's good enough for now. I got something way better, but it's good enough for now. So no. Zibby said, no. Oh, what are we talking about? All the talking points. Yeah, people are definitely programmed.
Transactional, but who are looking for the right answer in how they want to cast their vote.
Zibby has no ability to do anything on Facebook.
That's number one. And then
unless he's on Facebook.
Number two is it's critical that President...
So let's address this before she goes into what she's saying. So would America be better if atheists outnumbered Christians? It depends on whether or not we have that moral structure able to be packaged and given to them. So right now, no, because if most of the people who are atheists just go to the new religion of governmentism or scientism or whatever the fuck you want to call it. So no. But eventually, yes, because we will have a better moral structure than Christianity. It's more, it'll be more direct, it'll be more appropriate, and it will not have any bearing in the metaphysical or supernatural. And so then, yes, but right now, no.
For the right answer in how they want to cast their vote. That's number one. And then number two is it's critical that President Trump have someone by his side who has a backbone and courage and ready to take on the fight of our freaking lives in Washington to root out the rot and corruption that is so deeply entrenched in every part of our federal government.
There you go. There you go.
Couple.
So Ian said, so atheists need to be converted to an evolved form of atheism before it would be a good thing? No. So atheism is perfect as it is. We just need a moral structure on top of that. Just like Christianity is a moral structure, we need a different moral structure that is not based on belief. So there's no conversion to anything. There's just, hey, I like these ideas, so I'm going to do that because this is what works. In the same way that if you want to get strong, you lift weights, not because you've converted to a gym bro, but because that is the way that you get to the place that you want to be. It's actually rather simple. It's showing me how much work I have to do that people have so much trouble with it. It's not complicated. You just live already as you're living, but just don't pretend that there's a man in the sky. That's it.
Things and
that's what I'm changing. That is 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 what I'm changing.
Adam, I'm going to come to you. Adam also identifies as a 25-year-old white male, but that's a very different story. A lot of people can vouch for that. But, so, no matter what happens, he kind of feels like he's aging backwards. But Rob, can you please play the clip of maybe a highlight reel, just to kind of remind some of you guys. Sometimes with social media, we have a short memory. Here's a Tulsi body slamming Kamala. Go for it.
I love this.
Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Everybody get a drink ready. We are going to dilly-dilly. We are going to dilly-dilly at the mic drop moment. Get your drink ready.
Kamala, go for it.
I love this.
Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Let's go. Let's go. I don't care who you are. If you are not willing to give her credit for that, and you're going to ride for Kamala Harris, I don't think we're on the same team. I don't think we're on the same team. You are absolutely welcome here, but I think we have different ideas. MX9 said her kids in the name of saving them from demons. Wait, what? Oh, we're talking about that Ruby Frank chick? Yeah. MX9 said, I don't blame Christians. However, we can't always let that be the default. Ruby Frankie was a good Mormon mom, had 2 million followers, and damn near starved 2 of her kids to death. She tortured her kids in the name of saving them from demons. The only way to get good people to commit atrocities is dogma. You cannot get to the place of saving children from demons without dogma. And dogma. And dogma. These children are dead. Because, well, I believed it. I believed it.
Stupid.
Thank you, Congresswoman.
Oh, I
It's
love
just
that.
a beautiful moment. It's like highlight. Da-na-na, da-na-na. Tonight, Tulsi Gabbard body slam Kamala Harris into the
For starters, but I'm pretty goddamn charismatic. I think I'm gonna convince a lot of people. Just you wait.
debate stage. Go ahead, Adam.
Well, right there with you, Tulsi. I firmly believe there's a lot of independents or even Democrats who in 2016 or in 2020, there was a 0% chance they were going to vote for Donald Trump. And now he is fully in play for their vote. And that's not just me. I think there's millions of Americans right there, especially in swing states, in Michigan, Wisconsin, in Pennsylvania, in Georgia, for sure. We were talking about the qualifications of what it would take to be a VP.
Yeah.
So fully on board with your bravery, with your courage, speaking truth to power.
Yeah, but as with Kamala, you don't need any of that. You just need to be able to almost string sentences together. Not even almost string sentences together.
When I think
Or be a black woman.
of Trump, the one thing you need to have to bring to the table for Trump, you said it, is loyalty. So there's millions of people that are loyal to Trump.
I agree. However, I think there's a thin line between being loyal and being a yes man. I think the yes men that Trump had around him was probably one of the biggest aspects of issues that I and other conservatives have with Trump. So yeah, loyalty Yes, because of, in Trump's mind, how he sees loyalty. He needs you to be loyal to him so that he'll listen to what you're saying. But I wouldn't use that word in saying to be his VP. I don't know. What do you guys think about that thing about loyalty? I mean, definitely with Kamala, that was a mic drop moment. I remember that clear as day. Dylan said, a black woman auditioning for the role of the Wicked Witch of the West with her laugh. This is a school bus. I can't stand it. Lomtech said, godless religion, moral atheism, just call it what it is, Americanism. Well, shit. Dilly to that. That's where we're going. And you can fight it all you want. But in 10 years, you can be like, damn, that Lutch was right. I should have listened. Doesn't matter. You don't have to listen. I'm going to be right anyway. Zibi said philosophy should have more power than religion. Bingo. The more you question in philosophy, the more you reflect, the stronger you become. Religion tells you to put it in God's hands. Exactly. America! Fuck yeah! I don't remember. What's the next line? Saving the... I don't remember, but... America! Fuck yeah! Thank you. Yeah, if he hasn't learned that lesson, it definitely concerns me. I agree that he has, but that is the number one thing I am looking for. Because this channel, if and when he wins, this channel is going to change. A lot of the focus is going to be on what Trump is doing wrong. Maybe I ain't going to like that, but that's what's relevant. Right now, my biggest issue is the left. But once we have Trump in office, then my biggest issue is going to be whatever Trump is doing wrong. Just say, oh, there it is. America! Fuck yeah! Here said motherfucking day, yeah! Zippy said religion was a huge part of Americanism, and it took decades upon decades for the state and church not to work for each other. We gonna fix it. Monzig said, how will Vivek and Tulsi be, though? Shouldn't she take the Trump V position? She shouldn't take the Trump V position if offered. I don't know. I don't think that Vivek is a realistic pick for the same reasons that he's not a realistic candidate. I don't think the lack of experience, the fact that he's not Christian. I don't really think the color thing is as big of a thing, but when you add it together, it definitely is a factor. So I don't think he would do that. I wish, and whatever would put Vivek in the best position to run in 2028. That's what I'm voting for. That's what I want.
So there's millions of people out there.
Wait. So Buckmaster said the wrong philosophy can do the same amount of damage. Indeed. However, if you are not dogmatic, which is a philosophy always questioning these things, then yeah, you can have a terrible philosophy, but then somebody else can come along and say, let's talk about that philosophy and that thing that you assume is true. Is it? And the conversation doesn't end. Yes, because I feel it in my heart. So no, wrong.
Bring to the table for Trump, you said it, is loyalty. So there's millions of people out there are loyal to Trump. Your loyalty, obviously, I'm not questioning your loyalty, but if you just look at the evidence, you're not loyal to the Democratic Party. You've left them. They weren't loyal to you. You're also fully on board with being critical of Trump. It's not a secret. Pat talked about it. What's going to happen if you are in the Oval Office and he says something you don't agree with? I mean, we saw what happened to Mike Pence. This guy was his lapdog for 3 years and 364 days. Now he's dead to him. You've got a backbone. You've got courage. What's going to happen? You're like, yeah, Trump, I don't agree with you on this. What would happen to your loyalty then?
Here's what I think is
starting a fight already. Like, what's the matter? Jeez, I thought you guys would have a nice but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Here's what's important, and here's where, so much of the caricature and the narrative
well, that's what we gotta change. That is precisely my purpose on this earth, is to get people to understand that it's not about which dogma you pick, that any dogma is wrong. Any philosophy can be right, and not any one philosophy is the only one philosophy. But the problem is that people agree with you, that people are naturally dogmatic, which is why these atheists, especially those who have left religion and see the issue with religion, don't have the mind to not just fall into the next dogmatic belief. So it's about attacking dogma itself, not not the particular claims. I mean, we can definitely have those conversations, but it's about the dogma itself. It's about adhering to any idea without being willing to question it. And when it's shameful and silly, to say, well, I believe it in my heart, and that's how I know, then we will have a better world, and people will stop accepting that as an argument. That's not an argument. That's not that's not how logic works. But we just accept it because religion is so deeply ingrained in our culture. So if we can move past that, which I genuinely believe that we can, then we'll be better off. Shout out again to Zippy the Strange with another Rumble rant. He said, you're supposed to... He said, you're supposed to question philosophy. Let me pull this. You're supposed to question philosophy to be better at understanding it. Mao taught communism, but did not teach people to understand communism. Oh, you said that. Did you say that over here? I think I missed that here. Yeah, but either way, 100%. It's not about which philosophy or which idea. It's about the adherence to any one particular philosophy. Down with dogma. Down with dogma.
So much of the caricature and the narrative that those who hate Trump put out. We were talking a little bit backstage there about, what's going on with the Supreme Court and this whole immunity challenge and everything else. One of the Democrats' favorite lines is, we have to save democracy by stopping Trump, because if he is allowed to be reelected, it'll be the last election the country ever sees, and he will become the dictator in chief, and so on and so forth.
Will we know? Just for one day. Like, come on. If somebody was legitimately planning on trying to start a dictatorship, an authoritarian, would they make a joke about it like that? Come on. Like, y'all be taking shit so seriously.
He's allowed to be reelected, it'll be the last election the country ever sees, and he will become the dictator in chief, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And so
M169 on point here. So that loyalty aspect, I think that comes first. So first you have to show, like Adam was saying, that Trump really does care about loyalty. So if he sees that you are loyal, and then you stand up for what you believe in, then he will have the respect for what she has to say. Great point. I like it a lot. Dylan Soup said, no more a dictator than President Alzheimer.
What?
I don't get it.
Stupid.
Sorry, that went right over my head. Apparently, I have no sense of humor either. I don't know.
The last election the country ever sees, and he will become the dictator in chief, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And so, yes, loyalty is important. I make no bones about the fact that my loyalty will never be to a single party. It will always be to our country first. I don't question Donald Trump's loyalty to our country, and here's why. If it doesn't matter how many people say, well, he's only in it for himself and this and that. The guy has been, 92 or 97 felony charges now. He's being held up in a court of law. He is his bank account is being cleaned out by all of these various charges and rulings that are coming through. The guy is losing money. He is being attacked relentlessly. His
legacy and all of it. He could just be like, all right, you guys win. I'm just going to go take all of my money and just go live on an island somewhere. Not that kind of island. He could. Okay, apparently you're not supposed to press that button. Whoopsies. Yeah, he could just not do any of this, and he would be fine. He would be fine. How's my sound and everything? We good? Let me know. With the yep. Whoa. So make sure you please let me know in the comments. Oh God, as always, if you can't hear the video, please do let me know.
Rulings that are coming through. The guy is losing money. He is being attacked relentlessly. He has a Department of Justice being weaponized against him. You look at all these things that he's going through. One of the court cases he has now was only picked up again after he announced he was running. Previously, they had looked at the charges and said, yeah, there's nothing here. We're not going to pursue this. Why?
Yeah, MS9 said the notion that Trump is selfish is the dumbest of their lies. Does he have an inflated ego? Absolutely. Does he? I mean, there's so many things, but selfish. It's just not that. And when I was a never Trumper, and I was talking to my dad, and he was giving me this exact same line of he's rich, he's he's powerful, he's got his name, he could just nod, he could do all this stuff, he doesn't have to do anything. I legitimately thought that it was a reasonable thing to say, well, he's just got a big ego and he has all the money and he has a successful company. So the only thing next is to be the president of the United States. So of course he would want to do that.
What? Stupid.
Huh? That don't make no sense.
They had looked at the charges and said, yeah, there's nothing here. We're not going to pursue this. Why would a guy like him put himself through that if not motivated by a desire to serve our country?
Because he got such a big ego and he's figuring out everything else and now he's got to be the president.
What? Stupid.
And to save our country from the Biden-Harris administration, the Democrat elite, who are actually destroying it.
Virgil, did you change your heart to a like? What did I do? What did I do?
They are actually taking away our freedom. They are actually going after our kids. They are taking parents' rights away from them. They are making our country less secure through open borders. We can go down the laundry list of very, very serious challenges. These aren't Democrat or Republican problems. There are problems that affect.
These are American problems. American problems. See, the idea behind all of this American identity is to not only have the types of values that you get in religion and Christianity and stuff, and to people who don't have a belief in the supernatural, but also to fight this tribalistic thing. We're tribalistic by nature. Let's be all one tribe. I know that's a little bit pie in the sky, but we can help a little bit. We can go a little bit in that direction. Remember, if the ideal is here, if we get only to here, that's better than being here. Dylan Soup. So they all say stuff, but forget about Michelle Obama. Shout out to Big Mike. Not to mention the Obama worship they did in pop culture from 2008 to 2014. Yup. Zippy said religion is odd when it chooses not to. Religion is odd when it chooses not to understand. When you seek to understand religion, it becomes introverted. Yup. When you simply follow it, it becomes extroverted, always seeking others, always seeking something else. It's almost like it's not real. Sure, fuck it. Dilly to that. Hell yeah. Dilly to my boy Zippy. Doing the damn thing.
A very, very serious challenge. These aren't Democrat or Republican problems. There are problems that affect every one of us. So, if I were in a position, if Donald Trump said, hey, here's what I think we should do, what do you think? And if I did not feel it was the right thing for the country, I would absolutely tell him so. And respect the office that he holds. But I'm not chasing any titles. I'm not chasing any jobs. I'm chasing the opportunity to be in the most impactful position to save our country, because there is nothing short of our future and our freedom that is at stake in this election.
And Tulsi,
bro, what? She's right in front of you. She's right in front of you. Watch it. It's already being recorded. Sorry, just a little aside of people like this. I'm gonna be nice. We don't
short of our future and our freedom that is at stake in this election.
And Tulsi, what do you say to those people that are saying, like, let's say God willing, he wins, and hope to God you become the vice president. He's still going to come into that same place that has the swamp, same place that has the deep state. They haven't gone anywhere. The Chuck Schumers are going to be there, the Pelosi's, the Hillarys, the Obamas, being the puppet master.
Guys, if you have not already, please do me a huge favor. Hit that like button. Share this wherever you're watching. It helps so very much, and it's free. It's easy. It's so easy. Thank you so very much.
What's going to be different in this God willing, like I said, he wins, what's going to be different? How are you going to still beat that same swamp?
I think that is one of the most critical questions.
I'm sorry, but I have to go see this now.
Being there that are
Freedom that is at stake.
What are those, bro? What are you doing? He cares so much. Gotta keep it steady. I should say. Gotta keep it steady. Exactly. Be in the moment. It's for Insta. Do it for the gram. Yeah. Come on, Elon. I want to see what this is. I started the whole game over. And I don't remember the other one. Whatever it was. And the goal in game over, and the goal doesn't even show up. Come on, StreamYard. Come on, Elon. Get your shit together. An animated cat typing. There we go. RIP, this guy's Oh man. All right, let's get back to it.
that same Schumer's a friend.
I think that is one of the most critical questions. And based on what I've heard from very different people, and I think President Trump has talked about it himself, that there are things that he knows now that he didn't know when he won in 2016. And just as important as winning the election is recognizing that there's got to be a plan in place to, again, put leaders with courage and a backbone and who really are committed to putting our country first into those over 4,000 positions that are filled, that are presidential appointees. It's not enough. Yes, you got to start with the senior cabinet officials, but there's so many positions throughout every one of these agencies and institutions and departments that are political appointees that cannot be people who are like, okay, yep, I want that job because it's good for my resume and I know I want to run for the U.S. Senate or I want to get this job next, looking out for their next media gig or whatever it may be. The Washington bubble is so incestuous and so self-centered that people, it's constantly looking for how can I use you to help get myself ahead.
Right. And so that's why when we talk about how we're looking at these people through a different lens, these are those people. These are those incestuous people who don't care about anything but winning and enriching themselves and elevating their whatever. I mean, these are the people that we have to choose from. And so that can't be a disqualifying thing because then everybody is disqualified and you can just too easily be like, well, they all suck, so I'm not voting. It's like, okay, if you want to do that, you can do that, but that ain't helping anybody, and it sure as shit ain't helping you.
It's constantly looking for how can I use you to help get myself ahead. He has to choose people into these positions who really sincerely are dedicated to putting country first and are willing to take the beating and the attacks and the smears and everything else that comes with it.
Well, Washington needs a lot of
There you
change,
go.
and they're changing the way people operate for the worse. The vice president used to fly around the world handing out funeral wreaths. I mean, let's be real, and carry a state or carry a people group in an election. That all needs to change. We all know that right now we're only one flight of stairs from an even worse president, right?
That's true.
Good one, Tom. Tom doesn't usually get the zingers, but that was a good one.
Now we're only one flight of stairs from an even worse president, right?
That's true. We laugh, but as bad as anyone thinks President Biden is, I guarantee you, President Kamala Harris will be far more dangerous for a few reasons. And I've said this before.
Exactly, Zimmy. Exactly. It's either continue going down the wrong road or we stop and get nothing at all done. Those are the options. So shout out. You guys are digging that.
President Biden is, I guarantee you, President Kamala Harris will be far more dangerous for a few reasons. And I've said this before. You have some people.
Oh, Jesus. You touched
I
it.
just turn this off.
There you go. There
You
you go.
guys hear it now?
All right.
I just touched it and it went off.
I'll stop touching it.
That's what she said.
You see this in Kamala Harris. You see this in Hillary Clinton.
I think I remember hearing this.
Not on. Right.
it out?
There you
Move it
go.
out? All right.
Better?
All right.
Yeah.
There
Can
we
you
go.
hear it?
Just
right there.
Okay. I won't touch it anymore. When you have, this not only applies to women, but when you have a person, but in this particular case, when you have women who feel as though they have to prove their strength, and then you put them in a position where they can make decisions about dropping bombs and sending troops to war. This is the kind of dangerous President Kamala Harris would be.
That's twice. That's twice. That's twice in 10 years that she has buried this woman. That's twice in 10 years that she has buried this woman. One more time. One more time.
Okay, so when you have women who feel as though they have to prove their strength, and then you put them in a position where they can make decisions about dropping bombs and sending troops to war. This is the kind of dangerous President Kamala Harris would be, that I have no doubt in my mind that she would go and start a new war or send my brothers and sisters in uniform to some far off land as her way to flex and say, hey, see, look, I am tough. I am strong, but put other people's lives on the line to do it.
And we've already seen it. We've already seen it with the first time that Tulsi took her 6 feet under. When she's like, oh, you laughed about smoking weed. Well, at the same time, locking people up for it. Oh, maybe, I don't know. This is just like the, oh God, what is her name? The DA that just was pulled over, and she was driving, possibly drunk, and she was getting, the cops put the lights on, and she drove all the way home, and she was trying to call somebody saying, "Oh, tell them I'm not a threat." And what is her name? What is her name? Somebody give her her name, and I will pull up the thing. But just acting like a complete bitch because she knows that she's the DA, and she's like, "Do you know what kind of power I have? I'm gonna prosecute this myself." And she's done. She's had to do. Nobody knows her name. Come on. Oh, this is gonna. DA. Pulled over. Yes, Sandra Doorley. Sandra Doorley. Let's see the.
We are following a scandal involving a Western New York district
Hold
attorney,
on.
Hochul, now seeking a state investigation.
Where did that go? I don't know. Oh. Okay, take two.
We are following a scandal involving a Western New York district.
Did you guys hear about this or no?
District Attorney Governor Hochul now seeking a state investigation into Monroe County District Attorney Sandra Doorley. She was captured on body camera video speaking to an officer about why she refused to pull over after she was caught speeding. Instead, she just drove home.
Notice she's in her garage.
The governor says Doorley tried to use her public office to evade responsibility. Now, Doorley released a video apology overnight, and here it is.
Okay, so why didn't you just stop like you're supposed to?
Because I didn't feel like stopping on Phillips Road at 5:30.
That's not your choice.
I didn't feel like stopping. I
just come from work. I was dealing with 3 homicides that occurred over the weekend. I watched a video where an innocent cab driver was executed. And I was still reeling from a frightening medical concern that my husband received that afternoon. But we all have bad days and stress. And it was wrong for me to take it out on an officer who was simply doing his job.
Ms. Doorley says that she pled guilty to the ticket and paid the fine. She says another DA will investigate the incident.
There's another, I'm trying to look for it right now. This is it.
I hold myself to. And for that,
I just saw that she did another interview. Yeah. And yup. She's like, oh, bless her heart. But yeah, that's that. I mean, New York City, baby. New York City. Where Harvey Weinstein just got off. And not in that way. And Donald Trump, the running for president, a former sitting president. That's America, Jack. That's America, Jack. So if you are not in the position where you want to dramatically change what this country is, then again, I don't think we're, on the same team. And that's okay. We don't have to be, but that's what I'm about.
Brothers and sisters in uniform to some far off land as her way to flex and say, hey, see, look, I am tough. I am strong, but put other people's lives on the line to do it, all for herself. That is the danger. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's it. I really appreciate that. And that actually,
I don't remember exactly where she's from, but she's like this big DA and the whole thing, and she's there, she was saying whatever, and she did the apology video that we saw. She did another interview that I saw on TikTok. I'm sure it'll reach the other places soon. Where she basically doubled down. She's like, yeah, no, it's totally wrong. And the interviewer asked her directly, like, don't you think that's unfair that if you saw body cam footage of anybody doing what you did, don't you think that they would be arrested and you would prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law? And she's like, well, we look at things in a totality and the circumstances. And shut up. And the chick was like, honestly, it would be, or the chick who was covering it was like, honestly, it would be more respectable. It was like, look, you're right. If I was not in this position, take the woke route. If I was a BIPOC, maybe I would have been treated very differently. And that's a problem in our justice system and da. You could have done that, but you doubled down. Why? Because it's New York.
All for herself. That is the danger. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's it. I really appreciate that. And that actually helps add color to it. When you were giving that answer to Kamala Harris, those of us that were from California that saw
not me,
a massive percentage of predominantly African-American men being incarcerated for minor drug charges when she was attorney general and saying, see, I'm tough on crime.
Exactly.
We saw it was fake. It was a fake position at just an unconscionable human cost.
That's what I said.
Back to the VP, the vice president position has to change. Right now, I guess she's in charge of trying to find the border someday. Right? Specifically,
one day.
For some
it's
people.
tough.
Yeah.
She's admitted it. I will get
Hey, Moses took 40 years in the desert, and he was led by God. So
up there at some point. Anybody have Google Maps? So how would you change the position of vice president where you were in the legislature?
Yes.
And as they say, every now and then an innocent person is sent to the legislature. And that's a very old political joke, by the way.
I like that.
Two of you got it.
But you remember.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Dylan's like, I can't wait for these people to believe that they are black. Why did you punch that guy in the street? You hate me because I'm black. What? Pardon? Yeah, bars all day. That's why I wanted to do the first poll early, and we're gonna do it again near the end. I'm just curious on whether this has changed anybody's opinion on Tulsi specifically.
It's Congress. Who, us? The VP position. Where would America see you leading specifically?
Great question.
Where would we see you
Great
making
question.
an impact in policy? Where would you step up and say, Mr. President, I want this?
We get it, bro. You don't have to ask the question 3 times. She's a smart person. So if we think about, just going back in my own time as not a child, because who was Clinton's VP? Was it Al Gore? It was Al Gore, right? I don't know. Anyway, but so point being, I wasn't paying attention to that clearly. So we go from Biden, and Biden again, and then we have Pence and Pence again, and now we have it was Al Gore. Thank you. An inconvenient truth. When I was thinking about Biden, but now I realize that the whole like sugar-free, get healthy, whatever. That wasn't even Biden. That was the first lady. So if you were a liberal, what is it that people say that Biden did as VP? And maybe they're right. I genuinely don't know. But what is it that he's supposed to have been accomplished? Or is it more just that he's a lifelong senator and he knows how to do politics when he knows where he is?
In policy, where would you step up and say, Mr. President, I want this, put me on this?
If
the hiring
given that
committee.
Opportunity, being able to.
The hiring committee. You are not allowed to choose the people around you. You trust me, I will build up that loyalty and I will choose the people around you.
fix our country's foreign policy and the failure of leadership that we see in the Department of Defense would be the two areas that I feel especially experienced and qualified in being able to help transform.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I did not listen to what she just said. I need to hear that again.
And being able to fix our country's foreign policy and the failure of leadership that we see in the Department of Defense would be the two areas that I feel especially experienced and qualified in being able to help transform.
I said, you ain't getting $1 billion. And guess what? They fired him. So, yeah, I mean, I think that is definitely at least a good answer. At least a good answer. You know, we're at the point in politics where it is about what are you saying and how does that, what are the optics of that? How do people take that? I think that's a good answer. I would definitely need to hear her positions on what it is that she would like to do with foreign policy. I would assume that it's, you know, rein it in, but she didn't say, and, you know, that's where my skeptical hippo eyes are coming from.
Areas that I feel especially experienced and qualified in being able to help transform.
By the way, just so everybody knows, you know, you're talking to a person here who's a lieutenant colonel for 20 years. You've been in since 2004 serving, right?
Damn.
2003, yeah.
2000
April was 21 for me.
21 years in the military as a lieutenant colonel, experienced politically. If I'm not mistaken, you were a state representative also at 21 years old. Yeah. So you started there early.
Jesus.
And then in today's climate, I think the 43% comment that you made, RFK said that also about 5 weeks ago, and I don't know what podcast it was. He was talking about 43%. He's convinced it's kind of going to go through him, meaning there's a bigger independent voter today than ever before. People are kind of sitting there saying, I'm open-minded. Even Stephen A. Smith the other day is making comments about what the left is doing, and then today he had to come up with a different kind of a message because NAACP apparently got upset at him. So he kind of had to backtrack a little bit with the position he took.
So I think that I don't think that's a matter of open-mindedness. I think that's a matter of things getting so bad that the indoctrination is getting broken. I don't think people are like, well, let me see what's going on. It's they're forced to be like, okay, this can't possibly be like many of us who came from a never Trumper type perspective. It didn't come from open-mindedness. It came from a smack in the face that the ideas that you were carrying weight for couldn't hold water. Funk Master General, she said, blah, 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 blah. She answered honestly, she would say none at all, but it'll be really important. And again, that's why I said it's a good answer, because you can't say that. You can't say that. It's like, come on, we all know the vice president doesn't do shit. You can't say that. You got to have at least a thing. 169 said, I think at this point we could extrapolate that her foreign policy would be along the lines of de-escalation. Again, I think so, but I would, if that was my position and I'm on PBD and I'm talking about trying to be VP for Trump, I would be very explicit about that. I mean, how many people are voting for Trump strictly on the no new wars thing? A lot. So I said the Al Gore lockbox was genius and only second to the invention of the internet superhighway. Shout out to the inventor of the internet. And the best economist in the world.
But at the core, when somebody tells you what they're telling you first, and then they go back, guess what the real belief is? Is this was real. Yeah. This one is just somebody called and said, hey, you better backtrack or else. But the first one is really how I feel, right? So, you know, stories came out with RFK, and I know you've commented on this before. You're friendly with RFK.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen lists where you were.
How do you guys feel about RFK? Just give me like a general good, bad, weird. Just what's your general vibe?
Also being considered as a potential VP for him, right? As RFK, and some people wanted that to see what happened, and obviously it didn't work out. Story came out, you turned it down, you went to a different direction, and we know who he chose.
So it says Tulsi Gabbard reportedly declined VP offer from RFK. So she's popular in the VP position.
What's your relationship today with RFK?
It's great. We remain friends. We keep in touch. I respect him greatly. He has been for a long time and continues to be a voice for truth And I have no question in my mind that how much he loves our country and how much he cares about people.
He might be wrong on a bunch of stuff, but that love of America is absolutely there. Truth speaker indeed.
Can I ask you a strategic question?
You can ask.
Here's a strategic question for you. So let's say, small circle, President Trump is sitting there saying, eventually we're going to have to go through RFK. And we have to figure that out.
Okay.
Because it's going to be challenging. The last RFK was an RP, right? And you know who RP was?
Yeah.
Ross Perot, right? And he had 19.5%, 21%, whatever the number was. And in Georgia.
So this was the Clinton election, right? It was Ross Perot, Clinton, and whoever else, right?
George Bush Sr.'s documentary that was done. It's a great documentary. You got to watch it. The last 2 minutes of the documentary, the guy interviewing him asks a question about Ross Perot. It's the only thing he didn't want to answer. He got upset and walked away. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Highly recommend you watch it.
Yeah.
I think that's actually a very good documentary for you to watch to see exactly what happened with him, because I think that time's going to come as well. Let's say if you are chosen as a VP or whatever the role may be, let's say you are the VP. Do you think you could help, since you and RFK have a relationship together, to have RFK potentially, not necessarily, the better word would be to team up, because a lot of the values on what he likes, the left cannot stand him. Even the other day, a story came out, I think last week, talking about the Kennedy family is all behind Biden, kind of trying to undermine him, the fact that if your own family cannot support you, why would you support an RFK? They're dividing one of the most powerful Democratic last names, possibly the most powerful Democratic last name we've had the last 80 years, right? 100 years that with Joseph and what he did. What role would you play if you were on the inside to be able to communicate with RFK?
You know, I think that as this election season moves on, and you know, I'm not going to violate any privacy of the conversations that RFK and I have already had about what's going on in the country and how we share many of the same concerns about the direction our country is headed in. If it gets to that point where it appears that RFK's candidacy would help return Joe Biden to the White House, my hope would be that he would recognize that and shift course to make sure that that doesn't happen.
And you think you have enough of a relationship or influence for him to consider that?
We are good friends, but as you know, he is his own person.
Right.
So just like every one of us, you know, I have made a choice in my heart about what is at stake in this election. And as you'll see in the book, For Love of Country, this is what's motivating me. I'm going to be on the road for the rest of the year until the election is done. I'm not getting back to, I was home a few weeks ago and my mom asked when I was coming back. And I said, not until November 6th, because if I can have any impact and influence in sounding the alarm bells to those undecideds, to those disenfranchised Democrats, to those independents who may feel in their heart that things aren't right, but don't have, you know, the intellectual ammunition or the facts or the resources or those shared experiences to help make that decision for them. I'm going to put everything that I have into this election.
I like that. We're not even saying because, but Guantag saying RFK and Tulsi would be my vote if Trump is pushed out for sure. Interesting. I do not think that I could vote for that ticket. I could vote. I could see myself voting for Trump RFK or Trump Tulsi. I think I would if Trump. I think if Trump is for whatever reason pushed out, I'm writing in Vivek. I just definitely anti-establishment no matter what. But I mean, yeah, I'm voting it. I'm writing in. I can't. The anti-2A, the insistence on needing to back Israel and all this stuff. No, I'm good. See, as said, Tulsi will bend to whatever the UN demands. Yep, we know that, don't we? That is why you guys should make sure that you are following me on Kick and Rumble and Instagram and X and all those places. Right now, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Instagram, Rumble, and Kick. Make sure, and as Zippy is doing his damn thing over on Rumble, make sure you go and just pop in a chat here or there. Keep it relevant. Let's get some new peeps in this party. Not that I don't love you guys. We gotta grow. We gotta grow. He's a regular. Yeah, exactly. That's Yep. I think he's a good guy, but I don't think, especially when it comes to the idea of, being a Kennedy. At this point, nobody doesn't really care, but at the same time, they could use that in the sense that people will care. Oh, you're a Kennedy. You're going to go against the Kennedy dynasty, and then I could see that working. Funkmaster General says if Trump is pushed out, there's a pretty good chance no one is voting. I can see that too. I really question whether they are willing to go that far and be like, all right, I don't know how this is going to end, but we're taking them off the ballot. In fact, wait, you can, even if they take him off the ballot, you can still write him in. So yeah, no, if they take him off the ballot, I'm writing in Trump.
I'll make that decision.
Actually, no, I'm going to write him back.
For them, I'm going to put everything that I have into this election because our country is at stake, and I hope and encourage everyone everywhere to do the same.
So, Rob,
there you go. And guys, we just crossed the 2-hour mark. If you would like the party to keep raging, you know how to do it. And of course, make sure you become a member of the channel if you would like to join the after party, where we head to the free Discord. Is free. But if you would like to be part of the after party, you have to be a channel member, and you can get into our voice channel where you are not stuck behind your keyboard. You're actually on screen with me and everybody else. You can come if you want to. You don't have to. Either way, it is a grand old time. After every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern stream, we go in there and be talking all that ish, and we don't have to worry about YouTube censorship.
Country is at stake, and I hope and encourage everyone everywhere to do the same.
So, Rob, can you do me a favor and pull up the VP, because I know it's a tough question for me to ask, and it's unfair for you.
So I don't know what the Tulsi Israel thing is. I was referring to RFK and Israel. So RFK was on part of the problem with Dave Smith. And Dave Smith is my true north when it comes to this stuff, because I'm not really paying too close attention. I paid enough attention to kind of learn what was going on. But it gets to the point where it's like, the Destiny and Norm Finkelstein debates, and then Dave Smith debated Laura Loomer, and then there was the Dave Smith and Cenk versus Dennis Prager and whoever else. And just everybody is commenting that, like, Dave Smith, he's got it, he's on point. And the guy is Jewish. And Dennis Prager was like, can you name one other? I don't know. They were talking about a particular atrocity committed by Israel. Like, can you name one other atrocity? It's like, yeah, a lot. So and so when RFK was on with RFK, it was a lot of just like party lines about what's going on and why we need to send this and why we need to send troops and I don't know, I'm putting words in his mouth, but whatever it was too much. Too much. Oh my goodness. Out sponsoring his goddamn self. Said Rage on, our dude Morty needs trades. Thank you. Very, very, very much. Out sponsoring himself. Cannot tell you how much I appreciate that. Thank you. And of course, Morty's loving it. As always, when we get a super chat, I love to just dive right back in. But everybody put FMG in the chat. Thank you, sir.
To do the same.
So, Rob, can you do me a favor and pull up the VP, because I know it's a tough question for me to ask, and it's unfair for you to answer it, because there's conversations that's been had privately, and you don't want to compromise that, because later on it's going to come back.
Thank
so
you.
I respect
Well,
that.
I just respect relationships
totally get it.
and friendships.
I value that.
Just as you and I have conversations.
And that stays between us as well. I don't.
Exactly.
That's not conversations I reveal to anybody. Rob, can you do me a
There
favor
we
and pull up the
That's it.
VP
M169,
Vegas
you only one?
odds? I just want to put this on people that are watching this and thinking about this on the VP candidate. Just pull up the names if you could, so the audience can see it. The one from 2024, not 2023. Okay, no.
This is 2024 betting odds for presidential election. Trump is 6-5. Trump is 5-4. Michelle is 16-1, or Big Mike Interesting. Shout out to the Funk Master General.
No, VP Rob, VP odds, the one you showed
The one we
earlier.
showed earlier, Rob.
Yeah, the one you showed earlier. So if you look at Tim Scott, okay, for those of you that are data driven and you like math, let's kind of look through this from the math and data standpoint. A VP Tim Scott, what demo does he help, right? You can pick and choose what demo he helps. There's a demo that Tim Scott
does help, right? He's at the plus 450. Fine. Then you have the Kristi Noem demo.
Okay.
She's South Dakota, right?
Yeah.
Well, this came out before the I think this came out before the story with I think it was in her like an autobiography or something where she talked about shooting a dog. So I'm going to assume that this was before that. I don't know. Zippy said, I'm fine with giving money to end Palestine and Gaza. Get it over with already. I said, shit. Me too. If you want to fight, then do it amongst yourselves. If you want to end the conflict, then sure, that is what, America, world police, that whether or not we should be, that is what we do. I don't want to do it. But if we're going to be like, all right, we're going to end this, that is a entirely different thing. Let's say we're going to fund both sides of this fighting that just is for the sake of fighting. Can't blame, you can't half blame Israel being surrounded by CIA-funded terrorists and all. Yeah, I mean, I think there is, I don't know how else to say it. I think it's just people who just want to fight each other. I sure hope so. I hope so. Thank you, sir.
Then you have the Kristi Noem demo. She's South Dakota, right?
Yeah.
You have the South Dakota, maybe somebody could say women, governor, experience, kind of stood her ground.
Okay, I understand why YouTube may have censored it. Zippy is saying Biden was dropping N-bombs to hang out with the homies to get the little girls. Yikes.
One of the first, and I think the only one that didn't shut down at all. Sometimes people put Florida as he shut down for a week or two or a month. Maybe she never shut it down. So you hear those types of stories. You go to J.D. Vance, get it, formidable. Ben Carson, another demo that it hits. Calm, collective, doctor, experience, educated, health, COVID. There's a lot of things that he can speak on. Elise Stefanik really showed up in that one case against a gay. The president of it's bad for me to say gay because it's the
president's
Claudine gay. I don't want to offend.
We're bringing it back. Gay. All right, let's see what we got here. Kristi Noem.
Book is filled with tough, challenging decisions that I've had to make throughout my life. And I hope that people understand from this that what the point of this story is that most politicians, they will run from the truth. They will shy away and hide from making tough decisions. I don't do either of those. I tell the truth and I make tough decisions. People attacked me during COVID for keeping my state open. They called me wrong and attacked me night after night on TV for not doing mandates and not forcing people to get vaccines or wear masks.
What did Kristi Noem on Hannity excuse me for killing dog and I'm trying somebody give me some answers. So we'll do this. And of course, it's that break. My question, I don't know. But apparently, yeah. So when I heard that Kristi Noem killed her dog, I thought surely I didn't know the whole story. Maybe it was sick or injured, and she decided to end its suffering. Then I learned it simply because it was untrainable.
Haram!
Kristi Noem, you are terrible.
South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, considered to be in the running to become former President Trump's pick for vice president, is responding to the backlash over a story in her upcoming memoir. In the book, Noem says she shot and killed her 14-month-old puppy named Cricket for bad behavior.
What?
That's insane. That is insane. Yikes. Big shout out to my boy Guam Tech for that $5 Venmo. Getting YouTube out of the way. Oh, let's full screen here. Thank you so very, very much, sir. That is very much appreciated. And that, of course, keeps
The party raging. Thank you. Yeah, Emma says, that is some bullshit. She couldn't train it. It wasn't untrainable. Now, to be fair, there are dogs that are untrainable. I just doubt that she went through the steps to actually determine, yes, this is a dog that cannot be helped. I highly doubt that. So that's why everybody's mad. And apparently they should be. All right, what are we on here?
Showed up in that one case against a gay, the president of, it's bad for me to say gay because it's the
president
of
Claudine
Gay.
MIT.
I don't want to offend anybody.
Her last name is Gay.
Congresswoman from New York.
Right.
Yeah.
So when she went after, she seemed very strong. When she went after Penn, I think she went Penn, Harvard, and MIT that she went after.
Yep.
You just loved the way that she was imposing herself. So you like that. And then, Rob, if you can pull it back up, you got Haley, who maybe is one of the most loved people in the world.
Sweetheart.
But, it's just
Sweetheart.
For some of you guys, my Boeing. Yes, that's right. Good call. I appreciate that.
You're a
I
lobbyist with
forgot
an
the
SUV.
word. You should see your faces. Some of you guys, what do you mean she's one of the most? But believe it or not, she is loved by the establishment. I know whether you like it. And even Chris Cuomo, I'm talking to Chris, is like, hey, Nikki could make a pretty good VP if he wants to go win the establishment vote. But I think a Nikki Haley VP would backfire because the voters, MAGA people may say, are you anti-establishment or are you establishment? You can't kind of pick it there.
Oh, yeah, definitely can't choose Nikki Haley, but Funkmaster's got an interesting point here. I'm not sure. So I'm sorry, ladies, but Trump is old. Based on all of the potential disasters we're facing, it's just not the time for a female backup. Why is that the case? I think I'm with you. I'm not, but finish that thought. I think I'm with you. Let's see. Yeah, only weight crazy should. Yeah, he cannot do that. He cannot. I don't even think that he would think to choose her. They're he's for exactly. Haram.
The voters, MAGA people may say, are you anti-establishment or are you establishment? You can't kind of pick it there. But if you go to Tulsi, what do you get? I think there's a lot of things there. And I think if this number is 43% number that we're really dealing with, I think Tulsi has probably the most independent people. I think if Tulsi's the VP, Joe Rogan, bingo. Elon Musk, Twitter Spaces, X's, hello. A lot of independents that are maybe willing to go that way, but they don't want to be not invited to the parties. Now they have an out on how to vote for Trump. We know what the out is. So how could you vote for Trump? I'm not really voting for Trump. Trump has Tulsi. It's why I'm voting. I'm voting for Tulsi. Oh, so you're not really voting for Trump. So I'm not really voting for Trump. I'm really voting. Yes. Okay.
So how realistic is that? How realistic is that? Putting aside this idea, what Funkmaster's talking about, that we don't that he doesn't want a woman. What about that notion of bringing in people who like the ideas but are you good, bro? Did y'all hear that? Damn, you're like dick over there. What the fuck was I saying? Just out of my mind. As soon as he's, I thought you were dying, bro. I don't know. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah. So this idea of, I'm not actually voting for Trump. I hate Biden, and Tulsi's over here. Is that a legitimate point to even make, or is that just BS? M169 said, I don't know. Tulsi reached her rank before all the woke bullshit infiltrated the military. Yup. I think her military service is absolutely legit. Not that I know a lot about military experience, but definitely this has a lot to do with it.
So the 43% now is on the table. So that's why I think
not 43%. It's not 43%. Just because you're not officially affiliated with a party right now does not mean that you are undecided.
You're very formidable, and they have to consider you as a top 2, top 3. You know where you are on my list. I just think you need to be they need to consider the role you're going to play. And sometimes you pick a VP that maybe hasn't had the fight yet, and you hit the stage. Tim Scott hasn't had a big fight yet. Elise Stefanik has shown fight, but not on the debate stage. It's more of a questioning stage, right? Ben Carson has had some of it, but Ben Carson, read the book.
To this day, I still don't understand why people like Ben Carson. He was in that movie Stuck on You as a dumb doctor. And then he got on stage as a dumb doctor. My dad's a doctor. I love my dad. This whole thing about AI art is tricking the boomers on Facebook. Oh, we got a hungry dance. Oh, no. We hear all that maybe 10 years ago. I think I've told this story before, but 10 years ago, I went to, we were having a Christmas dinner, whatever, at their house. And this is when the DVR, he's like, oh, guys, I got something to show you. I got to show you this. This is the coolest thing ever. It was on Discovery Channel. He pulls up mermaids in the wild. I'm like, Dad, that's CGI. Like, no, he's on TV. Dad, just because you're a doctor does not mean you know everything. Sorry for that little whatever about Ben Carson, but I don't get it. I don't get it. I want to vote. I was saying that it's psychotic behavior what Christian Noem is doing. These people are those are the people. This is on the right. This is not some woke leftist that we're talking about. That shows exactly the level of, what's the word? The level of bullshit that we're willing to put up with for these people because we know they're all pieces of shit. And so M169 said, I think you pick up about 10 points to help swing it. Is that worth it? I think, is that worth it? And is there somebody else who would do more? That's the question. Yeah, goddamn Ben Carson. Ben Carson's claim to fame was the separation of conjoined twins. Oh, okay. That's why he was picked for, why he was picked for that. Well, that makes sense why he was in the movie Stuck on You, but did he though? Drop a link in the Discord and we'll all judge that. I'm going to disagree. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm going to disagree. So if you drop a link, we will definitely check that out.
Carson has had some of it, but Ben Carson, read the book. I think America the Beautiful, when he came out, I had my entire company read the book. But some studies have shown he could be the cure for insomnia. Nice guy, phenomenal guy. But, I'm just not saying anything. You can respect for brilliant guy. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different kind of an environment. Mm-hmm. But here, you just got a lot of check. You have gone up against heavyweights, and you've stood ground. So Hillary, boom. Kamala, boom. So,
I mean, is Kamala really a heavyweight? Point taken. But let's not give Kamala more credit than she's due.
It's almost like I'm not going to have to worry about her going up against anybody to debate. She's going to be hold her own. I'm going to go do my own thing. So anyways, I'm not your manager. I'm not your agent. I'm just somebody that really believes in you. And I hope you're going to be somebody that's going to be considered. And that's why I want to make sure the right argument is being made for you.
There you go.
Look around the world. There's never been a more important time to have a balanced ticket that knows what they're doing with defense and foreign policy.
Yep.
So, okay.
Literally.
So did you see what Avenatti said on Hannity yesterday? Did you guys see what Avenatti said on Hannity yesterday? One person did.
He said he asked if someone could fight with him so he could get some speaking time. I don't remember. Drop the link in the Discord. We'll pull it up.
What do you think about when you hear the word Michael Avenatti? What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear it? What do you hear? What? Actually, give me the word.
Who is this guy again? Michael Avenatti. What is he known for? Oh, Trump's legal team. Gotcha. Oh, the Stormy Daniels guy. Gotcha. American former attorney convicted felon, currently incarcerated in federal prison. Interesting. All right, that's who we're talking about. Yep. Yeah, Hillary is an assassin, not a heavyweight.
When you hear the word Michael Avenatti, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear it? What do you hear? What? Actually, give me the word. What do you hear? I'm going to say it on three. Say it on three. 1, 2, 3.
Scumbag.
All right. Fantastic. That's what Vinny said.
Disbarred.
Rob, can you? Some of you guys are about to be bamboozled by this guy here. Rob, play this clip of what he said on Hannity yesterday. Go for it.
Right now to President Trump, and let me be clear, I disagree with President Trump on about 95% of the issues at a minimum. But one thing he and I agree on, and that is that the politicization of these cases, in this case in particular, is gross, it's uncalled for, and it's flat out wrong. This is an effort to deprive millions of Americans of their choice for president.
Scumbag lawyers can be right about things.
This guy has been indicted now in 4 cases up and down the entire East Coast. Sean, in this country, we don't have serial killers who are prosecuted at the same time in 4 different cases. The timing is wrong, the case is wrong, and he's not receiving due process.
I remember hearing this in the car.
Guys, this is Michael Avenatti calling in from jail. And I think he's going to be in jail for 15 years. This is like Suge Knight calling it, except Michael Avenatti is calling it, right? Hey, what?
All right, we got the clip here. Let's see. What
You have the floor, Governor.
Where am I? All right.
You have the floor, Governor.
I get a response to that.
You will have a response, but I promised Governor Kasich he could respond. Can somebody attack
Kasich? Oh, Kasich.
me, please?
Okay, here, Wolf.
Did I miss it? Was that it?
Attack me, please.
Response to that.
You will have a response, but I promised Governor Kasich he could respond. Can somebody attack me, please?
Okay, here, Wolf. There's something.
All right. I mean, best moment over Tulsi and Kamala. Come on. And you're going to tell me over that, because Rosie O'Donnell, that was 2016 as well, was it not? President or Donald Trump, you've been noted as calling women fat. Nope, just Rosie O'Donnell. Best moment in any debate. Best moment in any debate.
What's up, PBD, right?
His cellmate was making the bed in the back. You didn't hear the
You
cellmate?
could hear the background noise. And that wasn't our mic, by the way. That
It
was
wasn't our microphone. That was his cellmate cleaning the bed.
It's a man who needs a pardon.
So how have we got? It's a man that needs a pardon. Exactly. But by the way, when you hear a guy like this coming out saying this, you know, he was Stormy's lawyer, right? And at one point, I think everybody on the left was thinking he should run for office and be the president.
Oh, the left was. Oh, they loved him.
Yeah, he was thinking about it.
All the news, everybody's like, oh, I'd vote for him. They were all on him. CNN, everybody loved him.
What do you think about what he just said? I mean, again, this is coming from Avenatti.
So you look at those statements. Look at the Avenatti statement. Look at the union leaders' statement. You look at the things that Stephen A. Smith was saying the other day, and then you contrast that.
Did you guys see that? Not the when I didn't see him roll it back, but did you see what Stephen A. Smith was saying about just politics in general, about how like the left is insane and all that?
With what one of Bobby Kennedy's brothers said when he said Joe Biden is the RFK of our time.
Jeez.
And you look at the kind of stuff that Morning Joe says of, you know, they've never known a greater president and Joe Biden's at the top of his game. It's just like, it's become comical at this point because
No, it was comical for a long time. It was insane. And then it went into comical. And now it's back to too insane to be funny.
Truth is staring us all in the face every single day. Even people who hate Donald Trump are saying like, all right, guys, come on. Like this is too much. And it's making a mockery of our democracy and it's undermining our democracy.
Yeah, but we're all in a cult. We're all in a cult. And you know, oh, calm down. I was just saying I don't think that was the greatest moment of the 2016 debates. Relax.
Wait, this is too much, and it's making a mockery of our democracy, and it's undermining our democracy. So as I think that's where the silver lining is in all of this craziness. It is becoming undeniable what the Democrats are doing in abusing their power, and if you stand with them, you are on the wrong side of the country.
I actually think Tom was kind of spot on with this. Because is there anybody less likable and credible than Michael Avenatti? Maybe Michael Cohen at this point. But when he said there's a 95% of the things I disagree with Trump on.
Yeah.
There's a very high likelihood he's probably a good strategist. He's probably looking at the likelihood of Trump being the president. He's like, let me say some nice things about Trump real quick. Maybe I'll catch a pardon or two. Michael Avenatti's in jail for 2 decades, I want to say.
Oof.
We're doing some shady things out there. So I think you were spot on
we
here.
can have a fast flashback here to about 40 minutes ago here in the podcast. Michael Avenatti, forget who he is.
Creepy porn lawyer. That's who he is.
Exactly
He's
right.
a creepy porn lawyer.
Are you in a semi-accident? Are you a porn star?
No, he's a creepy porn lawyer, and I don't trust him. Good that he's in jail. But go ahead.
That's
Tom,
right.
sorry.
He was correct about one thing. Do we remember when Harvey Weinstein was on trial in New York, and the people of California were told, and the people and the
I'll pull that back up.
woman that was raped in California was told, we can't start the trial till New York completes its proceedings. Do we remember that? We waited. Avenatti is right. The justice system is putting Trump on trial, not sequentially the way it happens. Hey, when your tax trial is done, you're going to have a civil trial. OJ's trial, his civil trial happened after the criminal trial, but they're stacking all these. This is abuse of the justice system. I have never seen.
Yeah. They're going after him. Okay,
Avatar
so what did this thing
and
say?
the New York on trial.
So this is in March 2019. Avenatti was indicted in California and New York on various criminal counts, including extortion, tax evasion, fraud, and embezzlement. On Valentine's Day of 2020, Avenatti was convicted extorting Nike in New York court. And on July 8th, 2021, he was sentenced to 30 months in prison. Additionally, on another date, he received another 30 months, technically 4 years with half concurrent, for a financial crime against Stormy Daniels. Where's Virgil? They talk about your girl, bro.
It's persistent. Trump's now we know, basically, you finish this trial and they said, okay, Weinstein guilty. He's going to go to jail for a long time. What did the people of California say? We're still putting him on trial here. So get about to California. Now we're going to do trial here next. It's never been in parallel.
Were you getting to a question or what?
No, I was saying what Avenatti was saying was right. Forget that he's Michael Avenatti for all of his
creepy
Avenatti-ness.
porn lawyer, Tom. It's just creepy
Yes,
porn
you should have ended it right when
Shut up, Vinny.
Vinny had said it.
Creepy porn lawyer.
Like, but the point that he's making is, maybe he's got a point. Maybe he's trying to get the what do you call it? The pardon. But either way, if he's got a point, he's got a point. We'll see what's going to happen there. It seems like whatever porn star he supported, you didn't like. Maybe if it was someone else,
what's your beef with Stormy?
Maybe it wasn't your person, and that's the mistake you made. But Tom, can you give us an update with today? I don't know if you guys saw what the stock market. Anybody watch the market today? Did you see how the stock market did today? It's been a rough day for the stock market. Tom, what are some of the numbers came up to the stock? The reason why the market reacted the way that it did?
Yeah, today was a day of reality, right? Oh, the stock market is up. Bidenomics is working. Life is good, right? We keep being told that by the mainstream media with a straight face, right? This morning, GDP, that's how are we growing? How fast are we growing? Grew at 1.6% for the first quarter. They were expecting 2.5%. That's not good. Personal consumption.
Dow drops more than 400 points on inflation and growth concerns. Heads for biggest drop of the year.
Consumer personal consumption was up 2.5%. We expected to be up 3%. And the U.S. consumers give us all a round of applause. We've set a new record. Credit card debt is just shy now of $1.2 trillion, which is the highest it's been since they were keeping track of it starting in 1999.
Never been more credit card debt. Never been. I mean, I guess that makes sense, but still.
So maybe consumers aren't spending because they're a little tapped out. And then the PCE price index today was 3.7% versus 3.4%. Let's just translate that. That's core inflation for you and me. That's gasoline, that's groceries, that's basic. So all of those came out today that said we're growing less, we're in debt more. Consumers, not just America, because it goes without saying that America's in sort of permanent mammoth debt. And personal consumption is down, and inflation is now ticking up again. I think this is something all Americans knew, but now the stock market got it right in the face this morning, and that's what the market did. The market went down, and there's a lot of response to that. What do you think, right? If you were in the Oval Office and you were there today,
bring it back to Tulsi.
Mr. President, this is
you just read off a lot of numbers, and what do you think?
What we need to do. America's hurting. What do we need to do here? Because now the headlines are over. We have real numbers this morning.
There's a lot of things that can be done within the government.
Struggle
streaming.
streaming.
Working or no?
Struggle streaming.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Tom, this is just a beautiful thing here. What do you switch?
that for right now.
the endless spend. You just mentioned it briefly, but our country's deficit and where we are sending, what was it, $95 billion in that package that was just passed recently.
Yeah.
Not enough. Send more money. Send more of our tax dollars away to other countries, because that is what's going to fix America. Don't you know?
Over 60, yeah, clearly over $60 billion going to Ukraine. Again, no accountability, no basic questions being answered, like what are you trying to accomplish with this money? How will it serve our best interest? How does it help bring about an end to this war? None of these things. The bar for that now seems to be, well, hey, we've got to hurry up and get this out there because it will help stave off Ukrainians' loss. So we're at a very different place now in their.
Biden says the U.S. is rushing weaponry to Ukraine as he signs a $95 billion war aid measurement into law.
Justifying this, and they're trying to sell this whole package as an American jobs and economic boost package. So is it though? Now Joe Biden has basically said to the American people, we're going to improve the economy by continuing to fund more wars around the world. There's so many layers of this, of how we can help encourage small businesses, how we can help invest more in our communities, how we can reduce regulation. My home state of Hawaii, an independent group just did a study about the high cost of living there. Single family home under the federal affordable housing definition is $750,000.
Jesus.
People don't make that much money in Hawaii. I think the average
people don't make that much money anywhere. I mean, some people do, but people don't be making $700,000 a year. What are we talking about? Mom said, oh, good. I was a little worried when she said the government can do a lot to help this situation. Not usually something you want to hear from the government when it comes to money. Yeah. She cleaned that up pretty quick, didn't she?
$150,000. People don't make that much money in Hawaii. I think the average median income is around 65 or 70 grand a year. But what the study found was over half of those costs.
So to live comfortably in Hawaii, an annual income of around $70,000 to $100,000 for a single person, or $120 to $200 for a family is recommended. And a lot of, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Hawaii, but everything except spam is marked way the fuck up because they have to import it from the mainland.
Is because of government bureaucracy and overregulation. So there's a lot that can be done directly at the federal level to be able to help provide the kind of boost in our economy we actually need, and really to grow our confidence in our own economy. And you look at all the things that we're talking about now, it's no surprise that people are losing that kind of confidence that we are or can be soon in a good place.
Tulsi, picking up on Tom's question on the economy. I'm looking at the market right now. Dow's down, S&P's down, Nasdaq's down. But what's up today? Bitcoin. A year ago, you spoke at the Miami Bitcoin conference. This year, it's in Nashville. And then the next day, you were on
the Bitcoin conference is basically a libertarian conference.
PBD Podcast with myself and PBD. The importance of Bitcoin, the importance of crypto, the importance of being a libertarian, the importance of being sort of detached from the bureaucracy, the crypto space, even central bank digital currencies. That's a major conversation. Yeah. You spoke at length for like an hour. It was an amazing session. Round of applause. People going crazy. With inflation running rampant, everything coming. What are your thoughts on that in regard to the economy?
So if we go to that, I said I watched a reaction of rich men north of Richmond by tribal people in Pakistan. They nailed it. How does the country have money to send this to others, but zero for its own people? Oh, we got it. We got it, baby. They just ain't giving it. They just ain't giving it. It's the one place that makes California seem cheap. Hawaii. Yeah, there you go. But I would much rather pay the money and live in Hawaii than live in California.
With inflation running rampant, everything coming. What are your thoughts on that in regard to the economy?
You know what, when we go back, and I think more of our leaders need to do this, and just more of us in our society, is go back and
do we have a clip?
Reread the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Federalist Papers, and get a better understanding of what our founders envisioned for our country. They very directly pointed out and recognized that power is the enemy of liberty.
Oof, that's a bar. Power is the enemy of liberty. Dilly to that. Power is the enemy of liberty. Love it.
And what we are seeing now is those in power see a free people as a threat to their power.
And this chart is United States annual inflation rates 2014 to 2024. So I'm going to pull this down here. If we look at, I was trying to drag it on this screen and not that screen. Idiot. Let me just turn it on. So we have the years down here. We're going back 2014. Inflation rates. So in 2014, it wasn't even, what is this, percent? Not percent. I mean, rate of change, I guess. So percentages, maybe. So like 80%, something like that. Either way, we're down here, not even one. We get to the Obama years, and the money printing goes. And then, of course, it goes from less than one in 2014, 2015, 10 times as much. And even though it's come down by 100%, we're still a lot further than where we were. And remember that inflation is cumulative. So this rise is stacked on top of this rise, which is stacked on top of this rise, which is stacked, and so on and so on and so on and so forth. It's not like the things from 20. It's not like these things are cheaper than these things. It's this cost plus this much more, plus this much more, plus this much more. Or rather, the money being, because of the money printing. Not good. Not good.
Power see a free people as a threat to their power. And so when we look at the central bank digital currency, and no matter how many times they tell us, like, oh, don't worry, this will have the same privacy as you get with your banks, but
there ain't much privacy with your banks. I mean, like, it's not the worst, but they can just take your shit.
If you spend more than $600 on Venmo, then we'll know about it. If you go and buy, according to Elizabeth Warren, wants to know every time you go and buy ammunition from, Dick's Sporting Goods or whatever, they will find those criteria that they deem as quote unquote suspicious activity to be able to know how we're spending our money. And then you take that to the next level of, okay, well, now they want to be able to control how we spend our money through a central bank digital currency.
Yep. And then they can just, you think being debanked is a big deal because it doesn't happen because it's a whole thing. But wait until it's just one button. They just press the button and your app says, oh, you've used up your social credit for today. You're not allowed to access your central bank digital currency. No, thank you. No, thank you. The good thing is that if they do actually try to push this, then I think that Bitcoin and crypto in general is going to be it's going to skyrocket. Shout out to Joe Mama. Welcome to the party. So they might not agree on everything with Tulsi, but she makes a lot of great points. I agree. So at the start, we had a poll, and the winning out of 4 options, the winning option was that I would not vote for Trump if Tulsi is on the ticket. And so as we're closing up, I'm going to do another poll and see, have you guys changed your mind at all? Just curious. Yeah, just one click. And it's the same way that they can decide that your YouTube channel is gone, the same way that they can decide that your Instagram, your Facebook, your TikTok, whatever, is just banned. Same thing.
Want to be able to control how we spend our money through a central bank digital currency. All of this just points to the reason why people support Bitcoin, why people support having an independent, transparent form of currency that is not under government control. And this, again, I just keep coming back to, why do elections matter? Why do our votes matter? Well, we need to have people in power in our government from both parties, frankly, who are open-minded, who will listen, who will better understand what's going on in the crypto space. Bring people in who actually know about Bitcoin. I met a bunch of people at that conference who were able to share things with me who know far more than I ever will about Bitcoin, but all of these different applications of blockchain and how we can use them to...
For voting. No more fake ballots, no more dead people voting, any of that stuff. But the things that she's saying, they're not very different from the people that we tend to look up to, the ideas that they tend to espouse. But like we were talking about before, when Bonzig was saying, I can't wait until, the Trump Biden era is over. And Zippy was saying, I don't know. I think it is going to be a lot easier for people to, or rather a lot harder for people to just brush off these ideas of like, we don't want a central bank digital currency. Why? Because Trump said it. Like, that's unfortunately a legitimate argument these days. And in 4 more years, we are good. We are done with those forever.
Bitcoin, but all of these different applications of blockchain and how we can use them to increase integrity in our elections, to increase transparency in our government. There's so much there that people in Washington know nothing about. And because of that, we're seeing the reaction that we're seeing by most leaders in Washington, which is, well, if we can't control it. President Obama spoke about this recently too, how concerned he is about Bitcoin because the government can't control it.
Right.
That's what it comes down to.
Do you still think it's the famous phrase, it's the economy, stupid, to quote James Carville? Like, Democrats are clearly running on abortion and women's rights. It's like, Pat's going to show you a ridiculous video that Gavin Newsom put out. The democracy, the freedom, the immigration, the border. I don't care where you're on, left or right. The border's a mess. Do you still think the economy is the number one issue that people are going to vote on?
Yes, I do.
Right. That's why it would be good for voting.
Think that it's the economy, and it's also increasingly more and more parents concerned about their children. And whether we're talking about education, drag queens in kindergarten. I think you maybe talked recently about someone saying that kids as young as 3 years old now know what their gender identity is.
That's right.
It was on Dr. Phil.
Exactly. I mean, the whole idea of all of us being able to live free and make up our own minds on how we choose to live our lives, how we want to raise our kids, what we want to do with our profession, that is, we are losing all of that. And I think that more people are realizing that.
Tulsi, do you think maybe we are naive and maybe we're not as advanced as some of you guys are? You've been in the military 21 years, Lieutenant Colonel. Do you think our enemies, Iran, Russia, and China, maybe our generals and our army and our politicians think one of the ways to intimidate them is by having more transgenders as soldiers? Because maybe there's some strategery behind it that we don't know.
Some strategery.
But is there like I'm curious. Can you show that picture? Because if you're Iran, if you're China, if you're Russia, you see this picture. Oh my God, I don't want to go war against these guys. Maybe there is.
Is this the same person?
No. The guy on the right is just a drag queen. Okay. But I'm telling you guys right now, the guy on the left.
Oh, by the way, there's plenty of drag queen soldiers right now in the military.
Oh, they do a TikTok video.
Oh, yeah. That's why they're advertising. If you're a drag queen, if you're a trans, come on and fight for your country.
Yes, I have seen some of those side by side.
Is this strategic? Is this strategic to scare Putin, to scare Xi, to scare Raisi, Khamenei?
No. I felt like I should have made a joke there, but you were so serious. And it is a serious problem. It is a very serious problem when we have leaders within our own ranks of the Department of Defense. And obviously I've served with and know so many people who are just the greatest Americans who've chosen to wear the uniform, who've chosen to go and deploy to different parts of the world to put their lives on the line in service to our country. And when we have, so there is a distinction between the policymakers who are civilians. We have a civilian-led military and those who are going in and putting on the uniform and doing the work every single day.
So thank you. There you go. Thank you for that. So interesting. Okay. I definitely I'll make sure that I read them out a little bit more deliberately. But yeah, if you guys didn't see the stream that I did last night, I was just testing out the vertical thing. I think there might be a way for me to change things around where it might be different. I haven't really done too much with it, but yeah, it brought in a lot of new people because I think it goes into the shorts feed. So shout out to Yusuf. He's a newbie here, right? I don't know if he's still around, but a couple of people saw it from the other night. So we'll definitely be doing more of those. If you missed it, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell because I just do what I want to do. I will be here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, but we doing more. So much said it's not scaring those men. It just fuels them with contempt. Yeah, that's scary. That's scary. I don't like it. I don't like it.
When you have many of those civilians.
Yeah, Bungash was like, no, sir, we can't risk losing a war to the transmissions. I think we're gonna give that a dilly comment of the night. Oh my goodness. The transmissions, no!
On the uniform and doing the work every single day. When you have many of those civilians who care more for the DEI metrics or for what the headlines will say or for creating some illusion of inclusivity, or even going back to the very beginning of Secretary Austin's tenure, where within a few short months of him assuming that role, all of a sudden declared.
I thought she was going to say assuming someone's gender. I swear to God, I thought that she was gonna, the woke virus has infected me. I could have sworn, a few short months of him assuming somebody's gender.
How dare you? Austin's tenure, where within a few short months of him assuming that
someone's gender,
that role, all of a sudden declaring there's an epidemic of white supremacy in the military. What? Whatever happened to that? There was a huge stand down. This is a huge emergency all across the military. We've got to make sure that we're identifying and rooting out white supremacy. Maybe I missed it, but I don't recall ever seeing proof or evidence of this baseless accusation that he made.
I said shit. Me neither.
Over 21 years, I've served with service members from all branches of the military, from all parts of the country, and everywhere I have ever served, there have been people from all walks of life, from social class, from a race standpoint, from a religious standpoint. And yeah, we'll give each other a hard time. You give each other crap as one does. But when it comes right down to it, there's been no question in my mind that in the heat of battle, we are willing to lay down our lives for the very same country that we love. That's what it comes down to. And it
really does. And Fuckmaster General says, might as well just close up your country and get a job if you lose that war. Yeah. And then, it does seem like it was inevitable that once 10/7 happened, that things were going to move in the direction and that Iran was eventually going to get involved and da-da-da-da-da. It did seem like the direction it was going anyway. That certainly doesn't mean that we should have help that along. And I was, very ignorant to the issue until 10/7. I brought on that girl Jerkolani. I brought on Frosttown to talk about it because I didn't know. And they were both pro-Israel. But then as things are going on and you start hearing little things like that it's a public quote that Netanyahu's, I don't know exactly the quote, but just saying that, oh yeah, America's or the West or whoever is going to back us up and we could do whatever. It's like you're not trying to solve anything. You're just trying to fight more. So go ahead and fight. Just leave us out of it. Leave us out of it.
Willing to lay down our lives for the very same country that we love. That's what it comes down to, and you fight for the man and woman to your left and right. To see how out of touch those leaders are and how they're prioritizing resources, not towards making sure that our troops have everything they need to be ready to fight today.
Making sure both soldiers or all soldiers on both sides have what they need to be able to fight each other today.
But to pleasing the so-called woke mobs is causing harm. It is causing harm to us as a country. And to the culture in the military, and then they throw their hands up and say, well, how come nobody wants to join the military? How come we're having a hard time with retention? The problems run very deep, but can be fixed with strong leadership that has the right priorities of putting our country first and making sure that our service members are actually valued and cared for.
Let's shout out our boy Zippy DSM Lee. Thank you so very, very, very much for hanging out. You get a good night's sleep. You have a good one, brother. The Funkmaster General says, no need to bicker and argue about who killed who. Yeah, that's completely irrelevant. Completely irrelevant.
Yeah, I don't know if they're experiencing that right now where they're being treated as heroes. But you're right. When you're in the military, you're Air Force.
I was in Air Force.
One of the things, you were Airman of the Year. Yep. Vinny saluted Tulsi. By the way, she told me, she says, Vinny knew how to salute perfectly, right?
It was perfect.
Yeah, she was giving you a shout out.
Wait. What's the right way? I've seen different ways of saluting. I didn't know that there was one particular right way. Usually, you want to, fold your and do it like that. But you sometimes don't like that. A lot of times I do that. But I've also seen like that. Is there one right way? Shows what I know.
Tulsi, by the way, she told me,
He
she
did.
says, Vinny knew how to salute
I
perfectly,
snapped it.
right?
It was perfect.
Yeah, she was giving you a shout out.
Knife hands.
One thing about the
not supposed to be
military,
like,
if you have
"Ow."
thin skin, you're not going to make it
Oh,
long
no.
term. Because if you got thick skin, you're going to be able to make it. I want to read the story to you.
There you
How many guys
go.
here run
There you go.
businesses? Raise your hand if you run a business. How many guys run a small business? You do over $1 million a year, top line revenue per year. Okay. So check this out. Some good news for you guys. Some very good news for you guys from President Biden. Biden capital gains rate proposal.
What's the instruct me, because I don't want to be disrespecting the flag, the country. Because isn't it? It's more like a that, right? I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. All right, next gonna show me. Shout out to the disciples in the after party.
Is to go from 23.9% to 44.6%, according to Forbes.
That's too much. That's too much. So actually, before you know what, here's what we're gonna do. They're gonna be talking about capital gains and investing and all of this and that. The one thing I wanted to show you was their discussion on the protesters, because I'm sure as hell not going to spend any more time covering it than I already have. I did do a long form video with the girl who was like, we just want to make sure that UCLA is giving us humanitarian aid. And we're like, wait, don't you have the dining hall right there? Like, well, yeah, but do they want to be starving, have students and starving and thirsty? Like, no, you can go to the water fountain. They're just not going to deliver it to you as you're protesting them. Let's see.
You're talking about all these protesting. 108 people arrested, students at Columbia, 47 Yale, 120 at NYU, at University of Minnesota. Have you guys seen all these camping, what these kids are doing? Rob, can you show some of these videos with the protests going on across the country on universities?
LARPing. Yeah, right? It's just like, we just want a commitment that they won't let us starve ourselves. It's like, what?
That's USC, Los Angeles.
And of course, most of the people, I think so. Most of the people there are not protesting a thing. They're there for the video. They're there to get content. I'm with Guamtech. This is a psyop. This is some shit. This is a distraction. And not to say that these kids aren't actually doing these things, but the focus of the media attention on this is the distraction. You're like, nothing's happening.
Do you have the clip of the
Like,
two
what are
girls
you
when they're
doing?
being asked that Vinny showed us about? Hey, Vinny, did you send it to him or no? You have it. If you want to send it to him, these two girls are being asked. Hey, what are we here for? What are we protesting?
Oh, it's not that one. All right, I'll pull that one up.
I don't know what we're here for, but I think we're what are you guys here for? Have you seen this clip?
Yeah, of course.
I'm sending
Show
There's
this
so
clip.
many of them, but
Well, I mean, the point is though, if you think about this, I wonder if somebody that's extremely like purely a technical data person, where were chaos in 2016? High. Then it drops. Then where was chaos in 2020? BLM protesting high. 2021, chaos drops. 2021, 2022, 2023. Where's chaos now?
It's time. It's time, baby.
You know, election, you're again high. This is a different kind of a chaos. They're all coming in different shapes. And go ahead and play this clip, Rob.
So before they go to that one, I put this out yesterday, I think, and it says reporter grills Columbia student after demands the university help feed protesters after occupying one of the hallways. So you can see the sound from the reporters isn't great. You can watch the captions. I do try to fill it in, but go and get you some. Hilarious. These kids don't even know what they're doing. The reporters are asking, why should the school be obligated to provide food for people who've taken over a building?
Well, first of all, we're saying that they're obligated to provide food to students who pay for a meal plan here.
So when you say they pay for a meal plan there, that means they offer you food if you go to the place where they have food, right? Yup. It says, but you mentioned there was a request that food and water be, I guess, there, that they wanted to bring into the encampment.
To allow it to be brought in.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I guess it's ultimately a question of what kind of community and obligation Columbia feels it has to its students.
Gaslighting! Gaslighting! You're the ones fucking shit up! You're the ones fucking shit up! Well, I don't know, maybe, like, just come to the dining hall? I think that's, you know, pretty humanitarian.
Do you want students to die of dehydration and starvation or get severely ill? Even
Really? Really? It's Columbia's fault that a student is going to die of dehydration because they decided not to go to the water fountain? What are you talking about?
if they disagree with you, if the answer is no, then you should allow basic. I mean, it's crazy to say because we're on an Ivy League campus.
Yeah, it is crazy to say because you are on an Ivy League campus and you're LARPing like you are in fucking Gaza.
But this is like basic humanitarian aid we're asking for. Like, could people please have a glass of water?
Yeah. Yes, you can have as many glasses of water as you like. Just go to where the water is.
They just put themselves in that.
Exactly. So, but they put themselves in that very position deliberately.
Very deliberately in that situation and in that decision. So it seems like you're sort of saying, we want to be revolutionaries. We want to take up this building. Now would you please bring us some food?
Yeah. LARPing! LARPing! Well, and of course, the professors who advocate for this are also not the ones being taken to jail or losing their jobs. But no, they couldn't possibly be in cahoots or even paid off in any way. There was one professor that I saw, and they get arrested, and she's like, "I'm a professor! I'm a professor! I'm a professor! I'm a professor!" It's like, ma'am. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You're breaking the law. If you die of dehydration, that's natural selection. Bingo. Yup. And of course, it sounds like you're saying, well, we want to be revolutionaries, but can you make it comfortable for us, please?
Nobody's asking them to bring anything. We're asking them to not violently stop us from bringing in.
Which has not. We're going to count that as a projection. Oh, we ain't done, baby. We ain't done.
Anything. We're asking them to not violently stop us from bringing in.
Which has not happened.
Aid. They're stopping the delivery of food. We are looking for a commitment from them that they will not stop.
So the reporter's like, oh, they've been stopping you from bringing in food and water? And she's like, oh, well, no, we just want to make sure that they're not going to. You don't even know what you're mad about. You don't even know what you're mad about.
They haven't stopped. I don't know to what extent it has been attempted, but we're looking for a commitment.
This is insanity. These kids. I missed the last part, but like, it sounds like they're saying like a commitment from Grubhub, or like just have nothing to do but be mad for the sake of being mad. This is why I do not care about this at all. Let these kids tear each other apart on campus, and when the millennial cringe, when the wokeness started on campus in my day, and we brought that into the real world. Okay, fine. The 2017 wokeness, that definitely took the world by storm. But it screwed things up. But we're definitely not going to let this change our entire society. We fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, don't get fooled again. All right, let's wake him up. Shout out to the Funk Master General with the $5 super chat. Yeah, he knows what is good. Again, out sponsoring himself. So these people are so stupid, it makes them dangerous. Bingo. Also, the overlord needs a treat, and the treat he will get. Thank you, sir. And of course, out sponsoring yourself again. Man, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate this. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that. Thank you so very much. So yeah, let's see what PBD and them is saying about these protests.
This is a different kind of a chaos. They're all come in different shapes. And go ahead and play this clip, Rob.
What would you say is the main goal with tonight's protest?
I think the goal is just showing our support for Palestine and demanding that NYU stops. I honestly don't know all of what NYU's doing.
She didn't even try. We think that I have no idea.
What would you say is the main goal with tonight's protest?
I think the goal is just showing our support for Palestine and demanding that NYU stops. I honestly don't know all of what NYU's doing.
Is there something that NYU's doing?
I really don't know. I'm pretty sure they're. Do you know what NYU's doing?
Look.
Israel. Why are we protesting here?
Watch.
I wish I was more educated.
No, God.
I wish you were more educated too. I wish you were more educated too.
I came from Columbia. I was there up at Columbia, and we came down. They said NYU students needed our support.
Ah, so you don't even go to NYU. You are just playing a fucking game. Exactly. Rich, white, liberal art student with a nose ring. Cherry on top, right? Cherry on top. Guantek said all the other activist professors were probably pointing and laughing at her, saying, "So you're doing too much, you fucking noob." Yeah. We don't talk. You're racist. We don't talk. You're racist. So that's it. That's all they need. That's all they need to do, and people accept that. And so it'll be beautiful when the whole Trump Biden thing is past us. It's like, okay, now you can't say it's a MAGA cult or this, that, anything. Here's the idea. What do you think? Oh, you don't know? Then shut the fuck up.
Columbia. I was there up at Columbia, and we came down. They said NYU students needed our support, so I came down.
You can pause it, Rob. What a great line. Yeah. On a university campus, a student saying, "I wish I was more educated." I agree. I wish you were.
I took my joke. Oh, my goodness. With the $20 super chat. Let's get a big boy up in there. So because Morty deserves all the treats. And fuck it, it's my birthday and I've had a good one. Happy birthday to M169. There you go. Eat that up. And Dilly, to not only the sponsor of the stream, but one more happy birthday to you. Thank you so very much. You guys are amazing. I don't know what else to say. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so very, very much. Happy birthday. I'm thank you. Oh, he's better than me. Y'all see what I fucking put together at the end of the night. He's got super expensive food and shit. So he definitely eats better than me. And these treats are not cheap either. So thank you. And again, happy birthday to M169. All right, let's dive back in. Thank you.
Campus, a student saying, "I wish I was more educated." I agree. I wish you were. By the way, think about who's influencing this though. Think about who's influencing this. Who's driving this hatred for America? Who's driving this division? It is, if you think about who's driving this division, who is it? Professors.
1,000.
Who else is it?
College. Shout out to Guante.
So I'm a professor. I'm teaching these kids. It is not fair what these rich people are doing. Lecture. Divide, go protest. Hey, all of these kids that are not getting Sally Mae's, let's bail them out. Taxpayers, you'll pay for them. You guys are so awesome. You keep working hard. You work your ass off. We'll take 60% of your money, 50% of your money. But these poor kids going to college who hate America, you don't need to pay your college tuition. You're okay, sweetheart. Well, vote for us because we care about you more than anybody else does.
And you nailed it.
We care for you. We really do care.
And you nailed it, Pep.
And that's really the platform. And worse, it is what people are eating up. They're eating it up. It is up to us. To change the messaging. We have to do better. Because they're just going to do worse.
Because think about it, these are all Ivy League schools. That's not organic. Somebody is organizing that. And when you said who's doing it, besides the professors, besides TikTok
Jorge.
that you were talking about,
you think it's Jorge?
Jorge's 100% involved in
Jorge's
it.
involved.
And then
No,
this
it's
is
called
one of the
Jorge
main.
Soros.
Oh, yeah.
Jorge Soros.
No, I thought you meant
Jorge Soros.
Oh, you mean Jorge Soros, who put $15 million funneled $15 million to fund. Think about it. Why would a Jewish guy pay to have Hamas protesters? That's such a weird correlation. It's weird. It's like he wants to cause this division, this craziness, this chaos. And you nailed it, Pat. It's during this election year, and it's like, don't be fooled.
X-Men 97 is amazing. It is amazing. And the 3-part finale that just dropped today, like the first part of the 3-part finale, really can pull it together. If you are questioning whether to watch it, watch it. There are some little woke elements, but it is not even close enough to ruin the show. That's all I got to say. And I think a lot of it is definitely going to play into Deadpool as well. So just my piece on that.
Craziness, this chaos, and you nailed it, Pat. It's during this election year, and it's like, don't be fooled, guys. This is all the distraction. They're showing you. They don't even know what the hell they're in the street for. Yeah. And this should sum everything up about that person. She's wearing a mask outside.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know about who she is and her level of education.
So extremely responsible, Vinny. Give her some
number
credit.
one, thank God it's not you, Jorge, because I love you, bro.
Yeah, no spoilers, but just be prepared.
On the camera on the AV. But yes, the professors, I think.
So I would, Dylan, at this point, I would say just wait a couple weeks and binge it. That's what I would do. Unless you're into like theory videos and like theorizing what's going to happen and stuff. I love that stuff. And that's the big thing of why I've had this like wishful hope that that the MCU brings it back together, because I missed out on the 10 years of everybody theorizing and talking about it together until I was like, oh, that's what it is. I'm hoping they can bring it back so we can all be into it again. As I start my my pop culture channel, we gonna work it. I want to post that saw that Ryan Reynolds stopped Deadpool 3 from having cameos from Captain Marvel and She-Hulk. Shout out to Ryan Reynolds. Let's go, Ryan Reynolds. Hell yeah. Well, yeah. So if you don't care about those, then I would say at this point, because you're gonna be at the beginning of the end, so you may as well just wait 2 more weeks and be able to binge it. Ruled my life. Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Well, what we're saying here.
All you need to know about who she is and her level of education.
So
extremely responsible, Vinny. Give her some
number
credit.
one, thank God it's not you, Jorge, because I love you, bro. He's not there on the camera on the AV. But yes, the professors, I think 13-1 liberal versus conservative professors in the universities. We've gone over this. When we started the podcast, it was 11-1. Now it's even increased. TikTok for sure. Indoctrination over education. We're seeing that now. They're part of that. Soros, but I'm actually putting this on one person, Joe freaking Biden, because he doesn't have clarity on this. It'd be so, these are useful idiots.
Pause.
You know, they say when you're pause. Thank you.
Nope. If you think about gay shit when I say normal shit, that's on you. If you have a problem with it, that's also on you. I'm not saying this part. I was waiting for the next part of this. I hope Deadpool does have Captain Marvel and She-Hulk when he kills the MCU. That's exactly. I was like, at least we can get rid of them. I knew you were gonna say that. I knew it.
Useful idiots.
Pause.
You know, they say.
What did he actually?
Because he doesn't have clarity on this. It'd be so. These are useful idiots.
Pause.
You know, they say when.
What was the gay part?
He doesn't have clarity on this. It'd be so. These are useful idiots.
Pause.
You know, they say when you're pause.
This shit's so fucking annoying.
Thank you. Callback comedy. When you're young, if you not a liberal, you have no heart. When you're older, if you're not a conservative, you have no brain.
No
They're
brain.
young. I understand why a young person, whether it's in the Vietnam anti-war movement, whether it's the Occupy Wall Street movement, we've seen young people get involved in these types of things, and it'll continue to do this. But Biden doesn't have the freaking balls to be like, bro, Israel's an ally. They're a democracy. Hamas is a terrorist group, just like Tulsi just had the balls, more the balls than Joe Biden respect, to say, yes, we're on team.
Adam.
I know, it's not a trans show.
Yo, the disrespect. Let the man speak. Every other fucking sentence, they're interrupting him. Let him fucking speak.
To say, yes, we're on team.
Adam.
I know, it's not a trans show.
The proverbial balls.
Tulsi, you get what I'm saying.
I accepted in the spirit.
Yes,
it was
it's spiritual. Exactly. But there's 2 reasons why Biden won't do
spiritual, but yeah. Anyway, sorry, go
Tulsi,
ahead. Adam,
you're
you're on a roll. Let's go.
You're a beautiful woman. You're at the top of Trump's list. But there's 2 reasons, and you can point right to it. Why is he doing this? There's 2 reasons. The young woke crowd, the intersectional decolonialization crew that's being indoctrinated. But number 2, Michigan. Okay, Michigan is in play. It's the number one state in the Blue Wall State, Dearborn, Michigan.
Do you guys remember whatever the first show was after 10/7 when I saw that that stadium for the first time, and a bunch of people days after this were waving Palestinian flags, and I did not know that it'd be like that, but it be like that.
Is the number one state where our friends of that religion live, and that's where Rashida Tlaib is a congresswoman, Palestinian congresswoman, who is the only person to basically vote against supporting an ally. He wants their votes. So Joe Biden doesn't have what I call balls to be like, we're on pro-democracy, pro-Israel, not on pro-Hamas. And that's the problem. And then the chaos will trickle down because we're going to have leadership at the top.
That was an interesting little exchange. What do we got going on here? And so she's clearly into him, and he's
not on pro-Hamas. And that's the problem. And then the chaos will trickle
bitch?
down because we're going to have leadership at the top that basically speaks truth to power.
Tulsi,
That's
I'll
my
give you the
solution.
final thoughts here before we.
So Dylan says, I'd say Sony Spider-Verse 2, but it's kicking its own ass. Aw. Gonzek said, Confucius Quamsek said, if the fridge is running, blame it on the patriarchy and the Zionists. Put a chicken in it and make it gay.
Wrap up.
Those who care about the Palestinian people should be just as outspoken against Hamas as we are today.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
That was a little bit of a Ron DeSantis moment. Like you got your final, your final statement. I don't know. I'm sure she's going to be able to say other things, but your final, like, okay, this is you. This is the floor. This is your moment. I'm going to do that because this and that. That's the problem. That's why you want me instead of this. Boom, 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 boom. And it's just, well, we gotta do better. I mean, I agree, but like, you have to say something that other people are not saying. And you didn't do that.
The Palestinian
Final thoughts here before we wrap up.
Those who care about the Palestinian people should be just as outspoken against Hamas as we are today.
That should be followed by because blah 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 blah. That is how you express that.
Palestinian people should be just as outspoken against Hamas as we are today.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. That's why it's a DeSantis moment and not a DeSantis campaign. But, definitely a missed opportunity there. But she did well throughout the whole thing. I'm just nitpicking. But, given that we did see the DeSantis campaign, I think that was just a small but missed opportunity nonetheless.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. The problem is they don't know what river or what sea they're even protesting about.
Meanwhile, this is just the beginning, folks.
Yeah.
Buckle up. There's a reason why one who is a lieutenant colonel living on possibly one of the most beautiful islands in the world chooses, when her family calls saying, when are we going to see you again? Saying, you're not going to see me on this island until November 6th, right? You either have issues with the food on the island. You either know maybe it's not surfing season. Maybe you know something we don't know, or maybe you love America. For the love of our country, you want to go fight for it between now and November 6th, and you gotta respect, salute, and applaud the great Tulsi Gabbard.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Let's go. So let's just see, what does this say? Let's give her her due here. For the love of country, leave the Democrat Party behind. By Tulsi Gabbard was the rising star of the Democrat Party, but the growing wokeness, fomenting racism and intolerance were more than she could stomach, and she left. This is her story and a call to action to Americans who love our country and cherish peace and freedom. Today's Democrat Party is controlled by elitist cabal of warmongers driven by woke ideology and racializing everything. They are a clear and present threat to the God-given freedoms enshrined in the Constitution. A soldier, former member of Congress, former presidential candidate, Tulsi loves her country. Quote, I answered the call to serve and swore an oath, dedicating my life to supporting and defending the Constitution, both in uniform and in public office. I've always been an independent-minded person, but became a Democrat when I first ran for office because I saw a party that stood up for the little guy, free speech, and civil liberties. that party is no more. Indeed. So before we go, what the hell? Before we go, let's just do a quick poll. Did she change your mind? So hit the poll while we call out our, let's get these last few here, anything, and go over, of course, we started out the night with our boy, Zippy the Strange. Then we had a comment of the night, M169, we can't whine about TDS, and then turn around and miss the opportunity to bridge the divide. Our first server chat was our boy, Unwanted Foe, with the $2. And we had Funk Master General. We had Zippy with another Rumble rant. Yeah, damn. And Funk Master General one more fucking time again. Out-sponsoring himself. We had Guam Tech. He's like, fuck YouTube. We go in Venmo. Thank you, sir. We had another comment of the night. No, sir, we can't risk losing a war to the transmissions. And then he outsponsors himself again. He outsponsored himself 3 times, man. I really appreciate that. That shows so much that what I'm doing here, the only way that I can know if I'm doing something good, something meaningful, is when you guys show up, when you guys are part of the conversation, when you guys are sharing the videos, and especially if you guys are sharing your hard-earned money with me, that means the fucking world to me. And so let's bring it to the sponsor of the stream. Happy birthday to M169. Everybody put M169 in the chat. Thank you guys so very, very, very much. I really, 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 really appreciate everything that you guys do for me, whether it's money, whether it's just the time and attention. I know there's a million other streams that are live right now that you could just go between anything else, but you're here, and that is not unappreciated. That is very, very, very much appreciated. So I want to make sure that we're always in contact, because you never know when YouTube is going to do some YouTube shit. So make sure if one of the mods could drop one more time the link to the Discord. That is where we are headed right now, guys. It is free to join. It is a free thing. If you're not familiar with Discord, it's basically just like a chat room, and especially the free version, it's just like a private chat room where there's no overlord saying you can't say this, you can't say that. I am the ultimate supreme leader in Discord, so you can say whatever you want. And if you are a member of the channel, again, you can just hit the, let's go out here and do, if you just hit the, if you just scroll down a little bit, hit that join button. It only starts at $2.99. There are some other tiers if you feel like I deserve it, but for $2.99 a month, you become a member, and that gets all of this awesome stuff. So meet us over there. I appreciate you guys so very, very much. M169, you're the best. Happy birthday. No, you are the best. So let's see. What did our poll come up with? Did she change your mind? Before I read out Replay Gang, let me know in the comments. Did she change your mind? It doesn't need to be like, oh, she, I was voting for Biden, but now I'm definitely going to. Did she change your mind at all on anything? 71% of you said no. So I'm hoping that, since it seems like that is becoming more and more and more of a reality, given she was on Rogan today, I'm hoping that you guys are a little bit more willing to accept her than you're letting on. Because it would be a damn shame what the world will come to if you're willing to not vote for Trump because of Tulsi. But that is up to each of you to decide. And of course, enjoy. M169. Let's end on the birthday girl. So I was fine with her on the ticket, so my mind wasn't changed. That is exactly what I was saying. Thank you. Guys, you are amazing. Morty's over here, my little co-host, and once again, I am your host, Lutch, a.k.a. the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, I don't know if I'm saluting the right way, but we are out of here. Peace. Huh.